like what we talked about, you should have came.
No, it wasn't that I didn't like what you talked about. I realized that, I bring a different point of view than you guys, obviously.
Yes,
and so
your shirt says that.
Yes. Me not having, not having that point of view here, I felt that there was things that we needed to see the other perspective of.
I just want to point out something. Your shirt is spelled wrong. Woke is whack.
That's not spelling wrong. That's
grammar.
Grammatically incorrect.
Yeah.
You're so close.
It says N-O-T. That's
he
wrong spelling.
Well, he had to bring it back.
That's the wrong spelling of is.
I had to go full liberal this week because you guys were so conservative last week.
Where's your
I'm joking.
Oh, I was going to say, who do you think you are?
Run around leaving these kind of scars.
I was going to say, I don't think we were all that, like...
No, I was just being a smart. I was just being a smart ass.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't remember. Like, it's been 2 weeks since we recorded that, and I'm like, what did we...
Like you said, as soon as we hit done recording, I don't know what the fuck I said until he posted it the next week.
What was funny is, I kind of snickered when I heard...
Whoa. Snickered!
Yeah, that's what it was.
No, that's a fucking... I got your back on this one.
Are you switching sides on us?
No! But snickered is a fucking word!
Yeah.
It's also very delicious candy.
Yes.
Snickers, yes!
But when Papa Smurf mentioned, Reagan, I'm like... I got to them.
What was it that I said? God, I miss the Viking. I think we started the minimum wage conversation. Like, God, I miss the Viking.
Well, that's part of one of the talking points I want to bring up today, anyway. So,
okay, well, welcome to another episode of the Grossly Off Topic Podcast. We do have the Viking here. I am your host, Papa Smurf.
I am no longer the one-eyed Viking.
We were going to call you the pirate.
Yeah, I know. I listened to the podcast last week.
Thank you, Papa 31, for that suggestion.
Fuck you, Viking! Well deserved and well placed.
I am the Florida man.
I'm 30 and 5/6.
5'6".
Oh, 5'6".
Yeah,
that's what you were last week.
That's what we decided last week.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Well,
again,
I didn't
a long time ago. I have no fucking clue what we're talking about.
Ago.
So I'm going to be 30 and 5/6 for a while. Then I'm going to go back down to 30 and a half. Or maybe you'll get even more demoted, 31 and a half.
We all have object permanence on what we say in this podcast.
Honestly, your number it doesn't even count. Yeah. It doesn't matter. First off, why we started going lower.
I don't know.
That's because this is like golf. The lower the score, the better.
I don't know.
Maybe it's because he's got actual metal in him and shit now, so that makes him
he's
worse.
bionic.
He's more metal.
Yeah.
Rock on.
Fucking hardcore, man.
Maybe that's what it is. All right, so the Viking wasn't here last show.
He got sand in his vagina. That's
he
why.
had sand in his clit. Yes, and that's okay. It happens. But he decided he was going to listen to the podcast, which is good. He's supporting his own podcast.
Yeah, unlike the diplomat. He made a whole podcast about him, and he's like, "Oh, I listened to it."
Hey, diplomat, if you're actually listening, text us. Let us know.
Yeah, we'll see.
Communicate. Stop. Just don't send a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Yeah. It's the last time we've heard from you. We're probably dead.
Yeah.
Probably got black widowed.
Mean streets of Columbus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not actually in Columbus.
He's not.
But I'm just saying. So the Viking has a few
just three of them that
points
I felt
that he wants
that
he wants to contest.
Not contest.
Yes, contest.
So we're gonna start with the easy one on this one.
What?
The illegals as cops that you guys were talking about.
Florida man.
I'm collecting you guys. So as soon as you said that, I hopped on the internet and typed in illegals as cops in California. And what they're working on doing is giving immigrants who are over here a chance to get their paperwork, which makes them no longer illegal.
How'd they come here?
Did I just say that help them get their paperwork so that they're no longer illegal, and then give them a job so that they contribute to society legally. So it's not like they're just hopping over the border and going, here's a badge. I mean, there are steps that they're taking. It's not just...
Yeah, but the thing is, they're not citizens. That's
he's saying
my
it's
point.
fruit from a poison tree.
The tree's already fucking rotting.
I don't know how a non-citizen can enforce laws upon citizens.
Well, one, cops don't really enforce laws. They just punish people that break the law.
Enforcement?
Yes, but they don't actually enforce laws. They just punish people for breaking the law.
Actually,
That's enforcing the law.
the courts
Enforce the law.
do allow punishment.
I have like speeding tickets and stuff like that.
That's
Courts don't.
That's still the courts.
All right.
Yeah.
They're still not stopping crime. They show up after the fact.
Stop in the name of law.
Law enforcement, unfortunately, is
Reactionary.
fairly reactive anymore.
They made a movie. They made a movie
that.
about that, trying to prevent crimes.
talk about
Minority Report?
Tom Cruise did
Is
a
it
Minority Report?
Yeah.
Talking about law enforcement, did you see that one of the illegals that beat up that cop in New York was caught doing it to a security guard in California?
Hey,
It's the same one.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not saying everybody that comes across our border illegally is, just some asylum seeker trying to make a better life. I'm aware that there are bad people coming over, doing shit.
It's the heat.
Oh yeah, it's fucking cold outside.
But part of our issue with the immigration system is we have too many people here living illegally, supposedly. That at least if we're giving them green cards or work permits, at least they're trying to do the right thing. And let's be honest, in most states, the freaking training for police is only like 6 months. Even the police that are policing us don't know the laws.
That's really loud.
That is.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, we'll be fine.
Okay.
I can see
we've got
both
cops
sides
that,
of that. I can see both sides of that, but I think Florida man's issue with it in the first place is the fact that
They are coming over
came
here
in
illegally
in the first place.
Yeah.
But we're also the country of second chances. If they came over illegally and then they tried to do right, should we give them a chance?
So they come into this country by illegally breaking the law, and then in return
We forgive that law.
enforcing the law.
We don't enforce that law.
Yeah.
We don't know what they went through at that point when they filed for the permit. Like I said, it's not like they're standing at the border handing out badges. I mean, there are steps that they're taking.
Just cross over in Texas. That's all.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Or just go straight to California.
or go straight to California. There you go. Yeah, live out there. Go ahead.
yeah.
What else you got?
Okay, so that
What
was
else do you have to criticize us
that
about?
was the first talking point. I'm saving the third one for the worst.
Jesus.
Jeez, there's a worse one.
Okay, so Papa Smurf, you had mentioned paying to go to school.
Yeah. Toledo brought up.
And while I think that's a great idea, instead of giving, because I tell my daughter all the time, work or job, going to school is your job.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
when you're that age, up to high school, yes, work or going to school should be your main priority.
Well, that's my way of explaining to her what I'm trying to get through to her, that, hey, I have a job. My job is to go to work, deliver mail, and I bring home money. Mm-hmm. Your job is to go to school, get good grades, so that we can help you make money in the future.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it teaches you those basic of showing up and doing what you're supposed to.
I'm trying to ingrain some of that. Your job is to go to school and get good grades. That's how that's your equivalent of what I do as a job. To start teaching her that those responsibilities, like just going to school, isn't part of it. You have to get the grades. You have to do the work.
Yeah.
So the idea of paying kids to go to school in that regard kind of does transition. However, I think instead of offering like $50 a month or whatever it was, putting that into a trust for the kid so that they can, when they get out of school, if they don't want to go to college, they have money for a house or something like that. Where they're not
the price of the house is
what I'm saying is
they have that money set aside. Okay, I see what you mean.
So that they're not just getting it and spending it on video games. We're teaching them.
Yeah, well, no, but he's not wrong because
I know what I did in high school.
The reason
I know what I did, mine would be video games.
The reason
I was born in Toledo. Trust me, I'm aware of Toledo.
Yeah, right, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. I think that's kind of more of the point because it's inner city.
Well, no, not as much. There are still areas just like where we live, where you have the good neighborhoods and you have the bad neighborhoods. But that needs to be addressed on a larger scale, either statewide or countrywide. I've said it before that I think that school funding should not be based on what neighborhood you're in, because you do create this area where the rich families get all the money for the schools and the poor areas get nothing. I think at the bare minimum, it should be a state-level education money pool. And every school district, regardless of the taxes people are bringing in, go equally to all schools.
Yeah, we talked about this obviously this week too, and were you on the phone for that?
Yeah.
I do agree with that because all in all, I mean, think about it. Why? Oh yeah, well,
I can be on the phone call. I'm not doing anything.
Well, you could have called in.
You can call in. Call him.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the hub now?
He's the hub now.
His
We
doesn't
tried.
accept it.
His won't even conference call anymore.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. I gotta figure that out.
We want as a society.
An educated.
Some people are right. Some people are dumb, but you want your people to be smart.
Yeah.
You want your people to be better educated, and the only way to do that is
Your brother.
to fairly educate. Yeah,
He graduated high school.
the only way to do that is to fairly educate, and you don't. I mean, let's face it, you don't fairly educate inner city, urban environment schools compared to a suburb.
Right.
Where it's full of doctors and lawyers.
Right.
Now that's great that their school district's great, but that inner city school district should be just as important.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, so I listened to the Titus podcast, and one thing that he says a lot.
Christopher Titus?
Yeah.
The comedian?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
One of the things he says a lot.
Oh, he's funny.
When it comes to education. Education is national security, because a smart society is going to be more inventive, more, engaged in what's going on in the country. And we need that. We need our youth able to critically think, to be inventive. Yeah. One of the problems I have with our current standard of schooling is the standardized test and no child left behind. We're basically saying, we don't care if you suck, we're still going to pass you. And we need, instead of saying that, we're just going to pass you along. Well, why aren't you passing? We need to be, but the problem is we don't have the funding for these schools to take that time, because schools are understaffed, not enough teachers, they're overbooked, they don't have the resources for fucking paper and pencils in most classes, and we put that burden on the teachers, which is also bullshit.
Which then they put that burden on us.
No.
Oh, I get lists all the time.
Well, okay, you're talking about the beginning of the school year.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay,
bring in tissues
I
and
thought you were talking
expo markers and this and that. And it's like, the fuck?
Yeah. That shouldn't be happening. I mean, that should be just coming out of our school educational money.
Yeah. Like, I can pay for my kids' individual school supplies. I get that.
Yeah.
My kids'
but 20
pencils and
papers
tissues.
And no, I get that's...
And Purell or hand sanitizer and this and that. Like, that shit's not cheap.
Right.
And I get it, and that's why they can't pay. The school doesn't pay for it. But the fact is I do pay my taxes. I do pay my property taxes. Where my school, you have an actual fucking school tax.
Yeah.
One of the few communities in Ohio that actually has a school tax outside of the property taxes. I do pay for those, so my school can have that money.
I have to say, I get tired. I've heard this from, not just boomers, but other generations. Well, I don't have kids. Why should I have to pay for education? Because somebody fucking paid for you.
Yeah.
we pay it forward, okay? I don't care if you never plan to have kids. You live in the same society that helped pay you to go to school. You need to pay it forward.
Well, and on top of that, like we were saying, we want a smarter populace.
Yeah.
That's just something. I mean, I hate to say it, but look at China.
Yeah.
Look at Japan. Those are very regulated, very highly educated communities.
And I would like to see, nationwide, us have a nationwide standardized, this is the curriculum you get.
I agree.
None of this, you live in California, so we're going to teach you about this stuff over here, and you live in Alabama, so we're just going to subtract this stuff here that we don't like.
That's like some states.
Out of the same grade.
Yeah, in the same grade.
From one state to another, you can be held back a grade because you are a grade behind.
Right, yeah. And
so
why? It should all be the same.
And it shouldn't be politicians writing up this stuff. I would love to see like a nationwide council of scientists and historians and any mathematicians,
educated
people coming together
and
like 2 or 3 times a year,
deciding what's
in a
best
giant conference, and come up with a curriculum for the next year that is going to,
or at least over the next couple years, over like a 5-year span. This is what we feel they need to know to graduate. Yeah,
I think that's Now
right in the path of the wind.
That's how I knew he was here.
And I felt that wind or that fucking cold air come down. It's like 17 degrees outside right now.
Yeah,
like what the fuck are we doing?
And my dad's still wearing shorts.
That's
He doesn't wear shorts till it gets into the singles.
I worked at Giant Eagle on near my route for 12 years, and there was this one guy that came in. It didn't matter how fucking bad the weather was, always in shorts. Mm-hmm. Like,
that's him. That's him.
10 degrees and snowing, shorts. I'm like, dude, how the hell do you do that?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because my dad gets criticized a lot for wearing shorts all the time, but where he works, it's 85 degrees the entire day.
Right.
So why would he not wear? Yeah. As soon as he gets in the building, it's warm as shit. So why would he wear pants?
Right.
So.
I mean, when I get home, I'm 9 times out of 10 wearing pajama shorts because my
pajama shorts.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have pajama shorts.
Oh, they're nice.
Yeah, they're. You good?
So,
are they like fleece?
Yeah, like the same. Well, cotton.
We're
like
talking
jersey.
about how you always wear shorts.
Until it gets cold.
Until it gets cold.
You think you live in the wrong state if this isn't cold enough?
Well,
Now.
Yeah.
I was say you don't think about wearing pants till it gets in the
I don't know
singles.
if I own pants.
You own work pants.
I got work pants, yeah. 2 pairs that mom gave me for Christmas.
okay. Yeah. So anyway, so the schools, it's a system that needs to be fixed here in the United States.
Yeah.
But whatever.
And I really want, this. I got into it a little bit with one of our coworkers, and I really wish I would have thought about it after the fact. He was like, we need to get rid of this porno in schools. I'm like,
oh yeah, you were saying something about that, talking about books and certain books in the library.
And I didn't think about it at the time. Well, and that's what
a lot of them.
Get the
certain right-wing people are basically saying there's graphic material and sexual content in books.
Are we talking about like the smut shit?
No, we're not talking about like fucking Playboys or
Okay, we're talking about like smut.
Kid books that are supposed to be pornos.
I
don't think so.
Like a book that has a sex scene in it.
Or
that's like half of all young adult novels
and that's
now.
the problem is, just not all, but there are certain people out there who will see a LGBTQ book, 2 boys kissing or something like that.
That shouldn't be there.
And they call that porno. But if the situation was the same, the story was the same, it's just one was a boy and one was a girl, they wouldn't say a single thing. And that's part of the problem. We are now in a society where the LGBT community does exist. They're not going anywhere. And what was that? We,
fucking X'd it.
That's not porn. There's more graphic talk in the Bible than most kids' books, and yet they want those in the schools.
I
don't know. I've never read the Bible.
Oh, I have. I won't disagree with that.
There's one. At least I don't know which passage it is, but it talks about
killing.
Well, there's
a lot of that. There's a whole book on it.
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3 daughters drugged their dad and raped him.
They raped their dad?
Yeah.
And rape the willing.
He was drunk, or he was drugged or something.
Rape the willing.
I bet he was willing after he was drugged.
It's okay. He doesn't have a case anyway, so.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, stuff like that. And I don't think other people's parents should parent the whole school district. If you don't want your kid reading Twilight, then don't let your kid read Twilight. But don't take Twilight off the shelf because you don't like it.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that argument can be made by a lot of things.
What about the people that say they're not your kids, they're the community's kids?
Fuck that. Fuck that.
You need to parent your kid. You need to parent your kid, and then at the same time, well, I don't trust your parenting skills, so we should just have this available. No, that's not how that works.
I mean, if you think about it this way, we have to, you two aren't necessarily parents, but you can think about it this way. Like, we have to give our trust to the school anyways, right? Like, I send my kids to school every day, and I have to have trust in the school that they're doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of on the same vein. Like, I trust that they're doing the same thing. I don't give a fuck. First off, the library has hardly any books anymore.
No comment.
Especially in your city, probably.
No comment. It's a media center now.
Here's the thing. It would be as simple as things that are, flagged by a national board to say, hey, these books are kind of controversial in one way or another. They come with a permission slip. You want to take that book out, you take the permission slip home. Hey, can I read, can your kid read this book? And then the library, once they get that permission slip,
signs.
Well, who cares? But the thing is they're covering themselves.
That takes accountability away from the library itself.
What you're saying, hey,
we tried to, we're trying to make sure that your kid is reading only a material appropriate for your kid.
If you think this is appropriate enough, then fine. Right. Sign here. It's just like video games.
Yeah.
Right? They did it with video games. They didn't used to. Video games didn't used to have ratings on them. When did that start?
I feel like that was like 20 years ago.
I want to say
like
that
2000s, early 2000s?
I think it was before that. It was probably in the mid to late 90s when we started having the rating system on video games.
I guess I've never been...
You've never had to worry about that.
Well...
There's nothing more awkward than having your 88-year-old grandfather who doesn't understand what the hell's going on accompany you to buy GTA 5.
Well, I remember going into the music store
because you want to buy GTA 5 or Call of Duty.
Well, I remember going into the music store in the 90s to get Dookie, and that was
the CD.
Yeah. And
but CDs, music, and movies were different.
Right.
They had ratings. Mm-hmm. But video games...
I'm going to Google it.
Yeah. I remember when that came out, and it was a huge deal because games like your Call of Duty and stuff, it wasn't Call of Duty when I was underage, but there were games, and it was like, oh, this is, rated MA. Mm-hmm. But I was unable to just go to the store and buy it, even though before the law took effect,
The ESRB was launched September 16th, 94.
That's just for video games?
Yeah.
I was like, the parental control, that was in the 80s thanks to Laura Gore? Al Gore's wife?
For music?
For music, yeah, because Dee Snider was on that council. Which put up a hell of an argument.
Yeah,
have you ever seen
ESRB.
that? You ever seen that argument he put into the National Congress? Because they had a Senate hearing about it. He made a hell of an argument.
Against putting the parental...
Argued free speech and all that. Because he was brought in as like, oh, he's just a dumb rock star. He dresses in... not drag, but he does the full makeup and the hair and the costume. So they just think he's just, a dumb rock star that all he cares about is partying. But he is extremely articulate and can put in a well-reasoned argument.
Yeah.
So he's great at debating. So he put out probably one
Is
of the...
he a master debater?
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, he put in hell. I think also
Jesus.
John Denver was on that council too. Out of all people.
Speaking of master debaters, gotta say that right. I went out last night. Saturday night's usually the nights I go out with my girlfriend because we don't have to work the next day. And she was looking at me. She's like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, really fucking tired. I mean, I just came back to work.
You did a full week.
I'm fucking beat, right? So I was just, my body hurts and everything's going on. And she goes, "What's wrong with you?" I said, I don't know. I'm fine. I'm just tired. I said, "Why?" She goes, "Well, because you're not arguing."
You're too tired to argue.
she goes, "No, it doesn't matter what it is. You love to
at least discuss and debate.
Love to take words and
you would have had a field day
and shove them back." She goes, "You just love to fucking argue." She goes, "You're good at it, but you just love to argue."
I did that to Florida man yesterday. He said something, and then like 10 minutes later, he contradicted himself. I'm like, "What about this?"
Yeah, see that?
You're learning. We're learning how to debate.
That is like key.
I don't remember. It was like you. It was like in the same thought. You started talking about something, and then before I even finished the swing, you would change your stance.
It was Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, but first off, that is
our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Listening to your opponent.
We don't have to say that anymore.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be your opponent, but listening to your opponent in the debate is key.
Yeah,
that is number one. And then, I lost my train of thought, so I wasn't listening to myself.
That's okay. None of us were.
What was that? So what's that last point?
Okay.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is complicated. Let me get my thought out before you guys counter. Okay?
No, that's not how this works here. We don't listen. We don't listen to what you say because it's more fun just to contradict.
Because this one's pretty in depth.
I wonder what it could be.
All right, so once again, Florida man. I think Papa Smurf. I think you had mentioned a 2-tier pay system.
About
Did
minimum
I mention
wage.
it last week?
Yeah,
About the minimum.
okay.
About
So
the minimum wage.
I brought it back up again.
I'm guessing
Children.
minors should be at a certain pay rate than those who are doing this for a full time job should be a step higher.
Here's
Okay,
the
let's
thing.
hear
I did
this.
bring that back up.
Well, I have a couple points to that. One, are they doing the same job as the adult? So that's the first question I have to ask on that. If they are doing the same exact job as the adult, should they be paid the same amount of money?
I will say,
Even though they're working less time, they're still doing the same job.
I will say, however, you're not wrong. Have we all worked in fast food?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So the people who come in the mornings, right? They
I
are
never stood that low.
they are not doing the same job because they are literally prepping everything. They're getting they're setting the restaurant up for the entire
No,
day.
I get that.
So when juvenile Joe Blow comes in at fucking 4:00 to work 4 to 9 or whatever it is, everything's already done. Everything's already set up.
When I started working, I was one of the closers. I worked Friday,
I
Saturday,
closed.
and closed. And there's just as much work to do in closing as there is to opening.
There's no doubt about that.
So that's where I see the problem with trying to say they have a 2-tier pay system, because they are effectively doing the same job as the people that are working next to them that are full time. Now, I think we need to get rid of this.
Silence it.
And this is kind of Obama's fault with the. I'm gonna call it like I see it. I always
Hell
do.
yeah!
With the when he, especially when he, they put the
Why was there two in that?
the
I
Obamacare,
pushed two. Oh.
the Obamacare.
Yeah.
A lot of companies started getting rid of full-time hours because it basically said if you have an employee working X amount of hours,
You have to pay them.
you have to pay them health benefits.
Yeah.
And so a lot of companies at that point said, well, fuck it. I'm just not going to hire full-time employees anymore.
Yeah.
And so now we're having this problem in this country where you can't just go into a restaurant or a fast food joint or a retail store or most places and go, I'd like a full-time job. They're just not there. I used to get in an argument with one of my coworkers when I worked for Giant Eagle. She's like, well, I had to work my ass off. I'm like, I get that you had to work your ass off to get your position. Mm-hmm. Your position no longer exists. When you retire,
were they like a manager or something?
No, she was a full-time clerk.
Oh, like the checkout?
No, she worked in the meat department. She was a full-time meat clerk. Okay. They got rid of that
when you
position.
asked, hey, I need a pound.
Yeah, they're the ones that were up at the counter handing out the meat and stuff.
Gotcha.
And stocking the shelves. I'm like, your position doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. So you want to talk about hard. I don't even have a position like that I can go into. I have one option, part-time meat clerk, meat cutter. Those are the only things I have to go forward in.
So she got basically grandfathered in.
Yeah, she was a full-time employee back then, and then they started phasing out full-time positions. Mm-hmm. I'm like, so yeah, I don't discredit your hard work to get a full-time position. It probably did have to work hard to get for it. Mm-hmm. But your position no longer exists, and that's the problem we're having in this country, where not only has wages not gone up, but then companies are getting rid of these full-time positions that offer the benefits. Mm-hmm. So we have the adults working 2-3 part-time jobs and still not making enough money, and they're working 60, 70 hours a week.
Right.
So this is one of those things we have to address. And, I understand the idea of a 2-tier pay system, but that's what we have full-time and part-time for. If you want a full-time job, it should be available. And if you're doing the same exact job that the full-timer is, just less hours, you should still get paid the same. Because it's also, in my opinion, it's going to be a slippery slope saying, well, we always say, kids aren't working as much, so let's put them in a lower tier. Well, women aren't as strong as them, so let's put them in a lower pay tier. Black people aren't less of a people, and I'm not saying I agree to that. Let's start
slippery slope indeed.
It's a slippery slope to create these different pay scales. We already know that in this country that women make 8 cents on the dollar,
70 cents,
or 70 cents on the dollar. So we already have an issue with not getting equal pay for equal work. And I feel if we create a tier like that, it's going to get worse.
Okay, I can
see the argument.
I can see the argument. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I don't have anything.
I put a lot of thought into that.
That was your quote there. That's your Mariano Rivera.
And you guys aren't the first ones that I've heard mention a 2-tier pay system, and so it's been something that's been on my mind. I recently had a conversation not too long ago about minimum wage at work with some of the older guys that are way further right than you guys.
Yeah.
Well, then, I mean,
MAGA right.
Does one of them do the downtown route?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So something's got to give then. Used to be, just bear with me here. Mm-hmm. Used to be, we are government employees, all right? Public service employees, their health care was paid for. Their benefits were paid for, right? Slowly over time, people from the private sector who could have gotten a job in the public sector got pissed off because, I'm paying 10% of my benefits and the company's paying the rest. Why don't they have to? And then so slowly over time that has eroded. Yeah. And now we're paying, 25%, I think, of our health care. I think it's 25% as regulars. It's 35% as a CCA.
Damn.
Yeah. So now we're paying 25% of our healthcare costs when there are people in the private sector, just like us, UPS, 100%. They pay, their company pays 100% of their benefits.
Wow, I mean, we got
But all this came from people who decided they didn't want a job in the public sector or whatever, whatever reason, they took the job that they took.
And they're upset about...
And they're upset that me, in the public sector, as a civil servant, my benefits were paid for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's shitty. That's one of the perks of the job that I had. And now it's like... I make I don't even know what we make now.
So we did the math last night. We just got our step bonus.
Okay.
But it's still.
You guys are a little over 24 now.
I don't know. Is that what it is?
25 something.
So let's say. So let's
just say 25.
$24, $25 an hour. That's really not that much.
No, especially when economists are now saying that due to COVID and the rise of everything over the last 2 years, are where we were estimating $15 to $20 nationwide for a minimum wage. It's now like 21 to 24.
Yeah, I mean,
an hour.
If you want to go to McDonald's or Taco Bell or Burger King on our half-hour lunch break, you're going to spend more than you would have made in that half hour.
Yeah.
Well, that's
just
like,
to eat.
That's like at KFC, an 8-piece chicken tenders is $19.99.
Holy fuck!
For 8 pieces?
Yeah.
And the
That's an
problem I
hour.
have-
That's an hour worth of wages.
Yeah. The problem I have with, when we argue about minimum wage, well, everything's going to go up. Where the fuck have you been living the last 25 years? Everything has gone up except minimum wage. That argument is if it was like 5 years that minimum wage hadn't gone up and you said that, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
We have 25 years of proof that nothing has moved up in the scale of pay, but everything across the board has gone
sides
up
with
in
that, or
cost
just the tenders?
nationwide.
Just the tenders.
Oh God, that's disgusting.
Go to Subway.
Yeah.
You get a foot-long sub, right? We all get a foot-long sub.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it.
We burn the calories.
Fucking $13.
It's up to 13 now?
Yeah.
The most expensive one's like 13. I think the average price is still like 8 or 9 or something.
No, fuck no, it ain't. I just get a regular fucking Italian BMT.
still,
It's
yeah.
like fucking $12.
I remember it used to be $5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
That
if you
was the
wanna-
whole deal.
And then,
foot.
and then if you want to make it a combo, you're $15, $16 in.
Yeah.
A fucking drink is $3 goddamn dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's like at Taco Bell. I remember burritos used to be
$1.
89 cents.
Well, yeah.
I was saying when
Yeah.
I was in college, the reason why I ate Taco Bell so much is because I can get 5 beefy Frito burritos and a large drink for $8 with tax.
Yeah, exactly. And you were fucking full.
I was full
Yeah.
for like couple hours.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm spending $15, $16 at Taco Bell.
just to get the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Because I went after the union meeting because we didn't get out till fucking 10 o'clock on a union meeting.
10 o'clock, that's late. Usually it's 9:30.
Yeah, they just kept fucking talking about everything. But
Well, we have a new president, so there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
Well,
10 o'clock, I'm not cooking. So
no.
So on the way home, I swung by Taco Bell, got 3 burritos and 2 soft tacos, and that was $12.
Yeah.
that's just
So
absurd.
when like gotta give.
4
So-
or 5 years ago, that would have been 8.
So the whole point
9?
of this is I do think if when minimum wage does need to go up, I'm not going to argue that. I do think minimum wage needs to go up. The unfortunate part is on that prices are going to go up, but not because they have to. Prices are going to go up because the companies
Because of greed.
Sees value.
because of greed.
Now,
Yeah.
there is.
They still want to hit their profit margin.
They still have. There are ways that we can go after that without affecting the bottom line.
Just kill them.
It takes a lot more government, for lack of a better term, overreach. Yeah, I knew that you were going to have a problem with that.
Yeah.
No, but I can see where you're going with this.
Higher
Regulations.
higher corporate taxes. There's also, I've heard arguments for a maximum wage that somebody can make. Where
Now, why would we?
so
Are we talking about like the CEOs, the big boys?
Okay, so they only get a percentage of what their
they can only
employees
be a
make.
certain percentage over their lowest paid employee. That helps keep either if the head that CEO wants his $1 million a day
He's got to
salary,
pay his employees.
he's got to pay his
Yeah.
employees, so that incentivizes him or her to raise the lower scale.
I'm sorry.
That's what
He would say that though, right? Yeah. Like he would just him.
exactly. Statistically speaking, it's a safer way to go, is just him.
And hell, maybe that is an idea. I do see where the government overreach part is, because people are going to say, "Well, I'm a private citizen, and
Right.
this is my
I have
business."
the freedom to make as much money as I want.
which is true, but you're doing it at the expense of your own people.
Right.
You're making $1 million a day,
while Joe Blow's making fucking $9 an hour.
While the janitor in the same building you work at is barely scraping by and has to pick up a second job
or
somewhere.
on welfare because they don't make enough money, and so the workers are subsidizing your greed.
Now, I think, stick with me, because this is the minimum wage thing. I think if you have a job, you should at least be making enough to not be on welfare.
Yes.
Yeah.
Full-time job.
If you have a full-time job, you should not qualify for welfare. But that means
a livable standard of income.
And I think that's simple. And I'm talking one full-time job.
And that's the way it was with FDR. And when they created minimum
fucking
wage,
Reagan.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's part of it.
I mean, how many stories you hear about the nuclear family back in the 50s and 60s where the dad wouldn't
go to work.
Dad went to work and he was able to provide for the house, the 2 kids,
when they established the federal minimum wage,
nuclear families,
that was during FDR's time. That's basically what he wanted. He wanted a reasonable standard of living with enough money to have a house, kids,
support
leisure time. He included leisure time in his speech.
Yeah.
So
because what was it, like 8 hours of work, 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of leisure throughout the day.
Yeah. And that's when we started establishing the 40-hour work week, and we established minimum wage, that this is the minimum that people need to be able to work a full-time job and survive off of as a single-income family. Fast forward to now, and in the middle of that, you have Reagan with the trickle-down economics and the slashing of corporate tax rates, and because that's the big one. The big one
fucking
is
Ronald Reagan.
The biggest one is the slashing of corporate tax rates.
Every time he says that, I think of Blue Mountain State. Trickle-down banging.
So you cut the corporate tax rates, and then they come real low, and then around Clinton's time, I don't remember if it was him or one of the Bushes, they started. They started using the excuse, well, we can't tax them, they'll just leave the country. You know what? I'm at the point now, if you don't want to pay tax in this country, get the fuck out. And I mean to the point of, like, even Ford. If Ford says, fuck it, we're going to build our shit overseas, guess what? You no longer have a market here. Ford will no longer be sold in America unless you want to pay the taxes for the company. And you have to build them in America.
And then if they do decide to move, tariff the fuck out of them to
incentivize
them coming back.
Well, the problem is, Trump tried to do tariffs on China for things. And what happened is it came back to the customers. They just raised the cost of the product.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
You regulate that too. Right. Anything that's coming from overseas, you can easily regulate that. A car. Yeah. A car here that costs $20,000, which, I mean, that's a low-end car these days, right? A low-end new car.
Ford Escort.
$20,000 actually.
I like Escorts.
Is actually going to cost the company $10,000 in tariffs to bring it over here. Fine, but that car's still only going to sell for $20,000 here.
Yeah, I'm okay with something like that, but you can't just because every time we try to go after corporations, we try to go after the rich. It always, instead of trickle down the way it was supposed to, it's siphon up.
But I think that's a way to do that. Yeah. If you don't want to pay taxes here because you made a deal with the government, no, you either pay your taxes or get the fuck out. And when you want to import your shit, you are responsible for the tariffs because we're going to set the price at this is the price. This was the price when you were here in the United States. So this is the price what it's going to be when you're not.
Obviously counting for, inflation rates and stuff like that, but
that's fine.
You can't gouge the people.
But that
you can do it based on a certain percentage of markup, because say it costs to build the car, it costs $5,000 to build the cheap car, the cheap $20,000 car with importing and fees.
We don't pay the importing fees.
Well,
no, for the company, it's going to cost.
Let's say
it's going to cost them another $10,000 or whatever.
Yeah. So say we're at the highest you can charge is 100% markup. So basically double. So even with say another $5,000 importing fees, like that is included into into the calculation before the markup.
Right.
So that puts you at, say, 10,000. The most you can charge is 20,000. And that can be true for all products.
And that's on the company. I think that would give the company more incentives because their taxes here are going to be cheaper than that.
And then if you decide to move back, say with Ford decides to move back into the thing, obviously they're going to cut the tariffs. So then you're only looking at $5,000, $6,000 for the price of the vehicle. And then
plus you're not paying to have to literally ship it from wherever, plus the tariffs.
Yeah.
You know, I mean that's some expensive.
And then you're looking at a cost of a car being $10,000, $12,000, which makes it a lot more reasonable for the average working person to get a car.
The problem is none of this will happen until we get rid of Citizens United.
Well, I was going to say lobbyists, really.
Well, that's part of what, the lobbyists and Citizens United, the one that basically said that companies are... he just likes to interrupt me with anything.
Sorry,
he doesn't have an actual point to counter.
Yeah,
so
he's just like, Vikings talking.
So he's just going to make noise.
Well, I got my legs propped up now.
Oh, good. All right.
Yeah, so
I'm the one that needs my leg propped in you.
We need to get the power
do that too much.
of our vote back to the people. Our voices need to be properly heard. And I don't care what side of the aisle you are.
Are you talking about a revolution here?
I'm not saying a violent revolution, but we definitely need a,
Far Cry 5, Far Cry 6.
You can see the writing on the wall. We are at a breaking point.
Yeah.
Nationwide, we are at a breaking point.
There is,
and that's bipartisan. A lot of people on both sides agree that this is getting too far.
Yeah. And the problem is, this is classic divide and conquer, instead of, because right now it's so polarized, we have a Congress that absolutely refuses to work with each other because they're on one side of the fence. This is like fucking Hatfield and McCoy's bullshit.
Yeah.
Instead of, there was a point in time where you crossed the aisle, you came to a consensus, and you made a decision based on, we think this is what's best for. Now we make decisions.
Which is the point. That's what they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
Well,
and
what they're
we've gotten
doing now,
so far away from that.
I agree.
Yeah, they're keeping us distracted, fighting amongst ourselves so they can go behind closed doors and do whatever the hell they want.
Right.
And make the decisions without asking us.
And be taking in fucking beaucoup dollars from the lobbyists who tell them to say this.
Yeah.
I have one thing to bring up, and this has nothing to do with politics. A long time ago, you guys asked me if being in boot camp or being a CCA was worse. This is my first week back to work. It was it was 5 months and 1 day.
Damn.
Since the last time that I had, since I had gone to the doctor. So 5 months and 2 days, actually, since I had worked. And it is definitely leaning to being a CCA, which I'm not a CCA, but you got to understand I'm coming back to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're basically starting from scratch.
From zero. Yeah. So I feel like a CCA. It's definitely leaning towards being a CCA. It's harder. My fucking body and my legs, like I have back issues, right? So I expect my back to hurt, of course, right? I mean, that is what it is.
How are your feet? How are your calves? Your quads?
Fuck!
Yeah.
My fucking hip flexor on my left side, I feel like I played the fucking banjo on it, and I'm like lifting my fucking leg up, but just to try and, it's terrible.
Hey,
you might need to get some braces. That way it takes the workload off your legs.
I'm going to tell you what.
It was rough and I was only out for 6 weeks.
And this might be revisionist history from me because, as time goes on, you forget, a lot of things. And I definitely forgot what it was like to
just be sore. To be sore after like a full hour day.
Because,
full day.
Monday I came back, I went to work. Obviously, Monday's a big mail day. Mm-hmm. I was an hour and 45 minutes over on my route, which is fine. There's no issue with that. That's not the problem. But, I'm like, oh, okay, I feel all right. And then Tuesday came along and I'm like, oh man, my fucking body is just hurts, right? No big deal. You forget everybody forgets that muscle soreness usually is worse the second day.
Yeah.
And so Wednesday, our lightest male day, comes around, and I thought I was going to die. Because I'm putting hurt on top of hurt on top of hurt. And there's no stopping this. You have to do. So Thursday came by.
So your lactic acid buildup. And then,
It's fucking terrible. So Thursday came by, and I am walking like a fucking duck. You know, just
He was.
Like you got something in your ass.
yeah, and it was terrible. And our station manager, you know,
asshole. His new
goes,
name is no longer Daddy. It's asshole.
He goes, are you going to make 8 today? And I started laughing. And he said, okay, we'll take whatever time you're not going to make off. You know, I'll give it to a CCA. Well, I didn't know he said that. So I filled out my form for my overtime. And he saw it. He said, did you take your time out? And I said, oh, no. Is that what you said? He said, yeah. So I don't know why he wanted to give me an 8-hour day. I could have argued it, I guess. But I was so thankful to.
Well, it's probably because
to walk
the
another
first
2 miles.
the first 2 days you went like 3 hours over in all.
Well, yeah, I mean, right.
Yeah.
And
When you're used to going like an hour and a half over
right.
before.
And it was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, I was actually telling Florida man, I'm like, I'm actually kind of glad he had a long weekend after that.
So
that
am I.
His, you know, next
But
week won't be as
then
bad.
you come back
Yeah,
and you got
a 4-day
you got the
weekend.
long week.
Right, but we have Monday off.
Monday off. That's
Yeah.
right.
We have Monday because of the holiday. So really, I don't. I have instead of 4 days, I'll have to work 5.
Yeah.
So I think I got lucky.
And then
basically,
you'll have to work
out.
5 next week too.
Yeah, and I do feel a lot better. Like Thursday night, I fucking crashed.
That's one of those you fall asleep on the couch at like 7 o'clock and you wake up it's 2. You're like,
no, it
what
wasn't.
just happened? I haven't eaten dinner yet.
It wasn't quite that early. I did go to bed, I think at like 9:30. You know, on a day where I didn't have to work the next day.
Yeah.
But I didn't care. And I didn't wake up until like 8:30 the next day.
Damn.
And it felt so good though. Like, I don't know. I feel okay right now. So I have healed fairly quickly, like, you know, but so Tuesday, I guess we'll see what it's.
Fortunately, ads are
gonna
like
be.
super light.
Oh yeah, they were super light. I mean,
that's what he was telling me.
I
don't put our ads out until
I have 4.5 bundles for the whole route.
Damn.
yeah, I think I only had.
I probably would only have like 3.
I number mine before I go
I'll
out.
have
That
like
way I can
4.
just grab.
Yeah.
I had 9.
No, I'm talking this week. Like for this coming.
Oh, this coming, they're even smaller.
Yeah, I have 4.5 bundles.
What
for
is
the
it?
whole
100
route.
per?
Oh, that's got to be more.
More.
like 100.
Yeah, if he only has 4
120.
bundles, it's got to be more. It's got to be 100.
I have over.
120. Yeah.
But yeah, it's fucking nuts.
I probably only have
that's
like
nice.
2.5.
Like
How many
one
stops
bundle
do you got on
is
yours?
450?
No, like 650.
No, you don't.
No.
I think so.
You can't have more than mine.
I think it's like
I
6. I
think
think it's like 600. At least that's what's listed on the paper.
Yeah, I have those like 4 like stacks like that, and then 1 stack like that.
You could fit all that in
I
just
know
in a
I
tray.
have more than him.
More than the Viking?
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, your route went went vacant finally.
You're not going to be a CCA for much longer.
One way or another, I'll have a solid route.
Yeah, till one of these assholes take it out from you.
I mean, the thought is there.
The thought was there just to fuck with you.
No, it's not even to fuck with him.
That would be.
No, for him, you know,
We were talking
For
about
me,
that.
the thought is there because it is a
5-hour route compared to a 7-hour
it is
route.
a smaller it is a smaller route. Something that I can.
There is a route at my office.
No,
I'm not
no.
going to your fucking office.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Your office is fucking terrible.
It's 4 hours on the street.
I don't
okay?
care.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying
So
to help you.
here's the I get what you're saying. You can help me. The thing is I am a huge creature of habit and routine, and I
don't like change.
I don't and telling me that I'm going to change not only my route is one thing, but to change an office
that does things completely differently.
completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Like they don't have a U-bum section. Like at the end of the day, you toss your U-bum in the
No, we take it back to our case and throw it out.
and throw it at their
in the cooler.
Yeah, in the cooler.
And that's fine. Getting used to, but right. So not only are you getting used to a new route, but then you're also getting used to how they do things in this office,
Like
office politics, and people. And
God, it's
I don't
so
like
bad.
people.
It's so
I
bad
don't want to
over
meet
there.
new people.
like the one girl who calls off every Tuesday or happens to have a doctor's appointment on Tuesday.
or calls off when it rains.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of on management, but
Yeah, they need to start like just documenting all that. And
Management doesn't care.
and that's
That's
the other
the
thing. Like,
problem,
it's a smaller office. It's I don't. I just
It's a boring office. That's why I'm trying to go back. Our supervisor talked to me, my casing buddy, and he's like, "Why are you guys trying to go back to that office? That's like getting beat and when your father used to beat you and just keep doing it."
he's not wrong.
sometimes you get used to the abuse.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we
hard,
said.
It's hard to leave.
But it's the devil, right?
Yeah.
I don't like a simple office. It's too boring.
Well, past all that, you started in our office. You did your time in our
That's
office.
the thing. I did not start in that office, but
but we're there.
Yeah, but I've grown to appreciate that office more than any other one.
And I don't know why.
I don't know what it
See,
is.
to me,
I know
it's,
all the routes there.
I don't like the
Like
small
my
office. It just feels more claustrophobic. And I also don't like
The
the
enormous
main one
office.
because there's just so much.
Especially now, there's so
it's
much.
kind of like the same way like I play video games. I like that. I like structure and I like a little bit of open world, but I don't.
Speaking of video games,
Oh, fucking nerd talk.
this motherfucker texted me the other day. He's like, "Hey, you got Game Pass, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Because what else am I going to do when I was laid up? So I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "All right, you need to download this game."
You should download this game so we can play
this game so we can
Because
play.
you've been trying to get me to play
I know,
since I've been hurt.
I want to play with my friends. Like
Right.
I think that's fun. That makes playing video games more fun for me. So he goes, all right, it's Hell Let Loose, and I'm like, the fuck kind of game is that? He's like, oh, it's a first person shooter, Call of Duty type deal, whatever.
It's not like Call of Duty. It's closer to
Battlefield.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay. I'm just gonna warn you now. I suck at those kinds of games.
And I was like, don't worry, this game's hard.
The Marine.
Yeah, that's what he said.
No,
at
it
shooting.
doesn't. It doesn't matter because this game is hard because you can't tell where people are. At least in Battlefield, you can get in a sense of where people are at.
Yeah.
But the maps are like a mile.
Oh, they're huge. It
Master-
takes you fucking 5 minutes from respawn to get to the fucking battle.
Yeah. And then 5 minutes just to run into the battle. Then it takes, like, if you get shot, you can get let go. Basically just die. And then it takes 10 seconds to respawn. Then you have to pick a spawn that could take up to 40 seconds to get back into the game.
Yeah, you're talking a minute before you respawn, basically.
So how long are these games?
2 hours. They can be up to 2 hours.
Yeah, they're extremely long.
Because
I did kill one person.
Because it's it's either the domination style game where you have to capture the points,
Yeah.
or it's
Capture
you
a
are
flag or something like that.
Basically, kind of, but you have to hold
you
what
have to capture, then hold it, then advance to the next one. Or there's a style where either on the offense or defense, you already have, like if you're on defense, you already have all the 5 taken up, but then you can't let them attack the 1, and then they'll slowly push on.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like an actual battle in that sense. You have to hit the certain line.
But here's the problem. There is no HUD.
Yeah.
You don't know where the fuck you are. There's a compass. You have a compass, so you know the direction that you should go.
You
Kind of.
don't know how many bullets you have left.
You have no clue how much ammo you have.
You know
So
how
it's
many.
kind of like realistic.
You know how many clips you have, or clips or magazines you
No,
have.
those are actually clips. No, it's
are they?
World War One.
World Two.
Or two,
Okay.
maybe.
Yeah, World War II. So you know how many of like reloads you have, but you don't know how many guns in the clip you have.
Yeah. And so
Rounds,
Yeah.
not
You
guns.
said guns.
Sorry.
and to make things worse, you have no reticle.
There's
Okay.
there's no like,
reticle.
little dot
Yeah.
on the thing.
So you basically just have the
There's no reticle, so there's no hip
sights.
shooting.
Yeah.
There's no
You
reticle.
can, but you just gotta guess.
So
Oh,
what-
you mean no crosshairs?
yeah.
Okay.
yeah, that's a reticle.
Okay.
So when you bring your weapon up, you have your iron fucking sights.
In World War II, that's when they came out with the first red dot.
That's fine. Not in this game.
Oh, fucking like.
And you're shooting M1 Garands that are one shot, and you're
Well, the thing is, and then the recoil is
loading
fucking
it.
nuts because
Catch your thumb.
I can aim at your nose, Viking, and then by the time the recoil hits and sets back down, it's aimed at the light.
yeah.
So I have to bring it back down, then shoot, bring it back down, then shoot.
And there is an auto aim. I put it on high, right? Like
Yeah,
I
no,
need
that-
some fucking help here.
Right.
No.
No, that auto aim either doesn't work.
Or get somewhere in this neighborhood.
Yeah, it's either just there to make you feel better about yourself, or
What's this on? PlayStation?
It's on PlayStation.
it's on everything. It's cross-platform.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can actually play with us.
Yeah,
But
so-
here's the other part.
but it's $50.
I don't care.
Oh, because it's not on
Yeah.
PlayStation.
So my buddy wants to play with us. The
Is
one
it on the PlayStation free play or?
I don't think so
I'll
because
check.
because he said he had to pay $50 for it
Yeah.
because he's gonna play with us.
Okay.
At least with
you
me.
guys
Yeah.
have Xbox?
No, I'll play
Yeah.
again.
I have
Did you
both,
hear?
but
What
I
Xbox
fucking
is
lame.
doing though?
I downloaded it on Xbox.
Well, hold
Okay,
on.
sorry.
Before we hear what Xbox is doing, because they are a little fucked up. But the worst part about this game, there is no gamer tags above. There's nothing that tells you
Where the enemy is.
where the enemy
You
is.
just have to see them.
But we're colorblind. And
Is there friendly fire on?
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Now you do know who's friends.
Because there's like a little.
Because they're yelling at you. Fucking stop shooting me!
No,
There is like a little.
there's a name placard basically
Okay, yeah.
for your friends, but your enemy, you can't. You might get lucky if you see this little fucking thing moving. All right,
Yeah.
maybe. Who knows how many fucking yards off because you can't fucking tell because the game. So as you're making your way up to,
Is there bullet drop and everything? That you have
it's
to-
terrible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Terrible or real hyper realistic?
But the problem is by the time you
I might get back into it then.
at least for me, by the time that I get to where I need to be, and you start sneaking because you got to have cover and everything else, you're dead. You pop your head up to fucking take a shot at that enemy, you're dead.
That's awesome.
No, it's not because this the whole
We played this.
trained for this
in real fucking life.
So
But some
we played
9-year-old is over
Yes.
there just fucking wrecking
Oh, I
the
have no
Marine.
doubt.
So we
Luckily,
played
I had our party chat, and that was it.
We played this.
Over his corpse.
We played this one map, and it's set in Africa, and we're trying to
On
attack
this
this
dusty snow fucking or sandstorm and
So we're trying to attack this one thing, and our spawn is on a ridge. Then there's the valley, little crevice, and then it's what we're trying to attack is on the other ridge.
Right.
You can't see anyone because just the way the shadows are and where they're moving, you can't see anyone. So you spawn, you come around the corner to get behind a rock. As soon as you lay down, bam, you're fucking hit. You're like, where the fuck did that come from?
and it doesn't tell you where you're getting shot from either.
No.
It's a whole bunch of just fucking 9-year-olds.
You can hear the
camping.
bullets whizzing by you,
Yes.
and
You can't
if you're
tell-
taking fire, like your screen blurs and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
But
that's
you can't
great,
tell,
but-
like in like northeast, southeast. You can't tell where they're coming
It's
from.
like
not
Call
like
of Duty
Red-
has like
It has, it at least has
It
something.
reds.
Yeah, it shows like
Yeah.
a red.
right.
That's
and
if you're getting hit though, but you can get one shotted with
Oh,
just a
and you're done.
standard rifle.
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
One shot, you're done. And so not knowing where the shot came from, you could get all the way back over there. That person could still be camping out, which is probably what they're doing.
right.
And you're dead again because you don't know where they are. Like, I don't know. It's if we were
at
playing
least-
Call of Duty, I would be okay with it because of the way, even Battlefield, like I said, Battlefield's still harder than Call of Duty if you've ever played Battlefield.
Yeah.
I don't usually.
Huge fucking Battlefield has huge fucking maps. But it's a lot more gamer friendly. This fucking game.
It's been dubbed by players as a PTSD simulator.
Oh yeah, because there was a time when I was like, I'm fucking done, and I exited all the way the fuck out, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm
How
not
many
playing
times
anymore.
am I going to throw my controller?
A lot.
That's how I
A
want it.
In the
lot.
full game, you might want to have a couple controllers on standby.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not throwing my controller. I have a fucking Elite 2.
No,
So
He's got a
Elite
throwaway
skill.
controller. He was like,
I actually do have my own controller.
the Xbox, like original Xbox controller. Like, fuck, God damn it!
Yeah, it doesn't even work anymore. Fuck you! But I literally exited all the way the fuck out, and I was done. I was fucking done. And I sat there, and I was still talking to him because we were still in the party to talk. And then I got back in. He's like, "Oh, you came back?" And I'm like, "Yes, I fucking came back." But
That lasted 5 minutes.
yeah, because it was still the same map, and it was like, "Oh, fuck this," you know. And I couldn't anymore.
But it's funny because you can be, because obviously proximity chat, they have that, so you can be talking to people that are around you, and then we'll both creep up, and all of a sudden a tank will come and just blow the fuck out of that person 5 feet in front of you. You're like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
You're completely fine, unscathed, but this person just got blown to hell. You're like,
Yeah, and you can't. There's nothing you can do about tanks.
yeah.
There's artillery. They
They do have a class that's anti-tank.
Yeah, but you have to be that class in order to do anything with it.
Yeah.
But then when you're that class, like, that's what you do.
right.
You know, if you're an artilleryman,
you
that's
can-
what you do.
You can change classes, but there's only certain number of classes per squad.
Yeah.
Right.
Like there's
Okay.
obviously only one officer. There's up to 6 riflemen, 1 assault, 1 rifle assault. There's only 2 sniper groups per
they're
team.
the ones that are
one
getting
sniper,
shots.
one spotter. That's it.
But then they immediately join the sniper class. So it's like, well, you can't be a sniper then.
Yeah.
yeah.
Fuck.
So everybody wants to be a sniper because of the way the game's designed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's...
Only way
Yeah.
you're getting easy kills.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, because it's just impossible. And then so I went in as assault. I changed my class to assault from rifleman.
So you can get like a submachine gun.
So I have a fucking submachine
Yeah.
gun, and that's great because now you pull the trigger and it. But it doesn't matter because now you have to be super close.
Yeah, now you have to get close to the people and just pray that they don't see you,
You need
first.
more range. You don't need
But you can't look down the sights of the fucking rifle and shoot someone 100 yards away or
No,
what I would
especially
have.
if they got a sniper sitting up on a ridge with a spotter.
Or the
you
people
know.
that have been playing since last year when the game
Right.
came out.
Yeah, so it's for me it's lose-lose.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're playing to hang out with your buddies and, you know,
Right,
I would
and
say
that's-
relieve some stress. But
And that's
It causes stress.
this game does not. Yeah, this
that's why I
game
started laughing as soon as I said it.
That's why I told him I was like, "Fucking download Far Cry or something, and we'll play." You know what I mean? Because you
Which
can.
Far Cry 5 and 6 are on Game Pass.
Correct.
Yeah. And Sniper Elite has a co-op mode.
Okay. Well, I'll get that one. Also, MLB 20, the show 24 is going to be coming out, so I'll download that.
Okay.
And
It's on Game
Madden
Pass.
24 is out right now, so
Yeah, I don't. I'll play the show, but I don't know about Madden though. Maybe.
I guess he's still playing that game. Can't hit shit either.
Shooting blanks. That's just hammer.
Anyways, what I was
Truly
saying is,
another
I've been hearing some stuff coming out about Xbox that one, they're opening up almost every one of their
not every one of their
almost
exclusives.
every one of
they're
their
open
exclusives.
for
Halo
now. They're
and,
just opening up
some
like
of their,
4.
but they're talking about the possibility of in the future kind of going the same way as the Sega. Just producing video games and no longer producing consoles. And
no, that
that was one of the rumors I heard.
That did get verified as a rumor. They're still making. I did see that. I was reading a story about
what
that.
I'm saying is they
said
might
were still
be
gonna make
transitioning away from that.
So then everyone would just be buying PlayStation. So
well,
then they
Microsoft has
well,
always
the console
been,
peoples will just be buying PlayStation.
But Microsoft, in their roots, Microsoft has always been a
computer-
software
yeah.
company.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They made a console to compete with the Sega and Nintendo
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
Sony.
Yeah,
So,
and
but I think
that's great.
What
but-
they're saying is they're basically trying to bring themselves back to just being a software company and getting away from the console. So I'm not saying it's going to happen anytime soon, but it is something that has been coming down
They
the
did.
pipeline.
yeah.
There's I think like 4 game titles that they are gonna allow for cross-platform, and Halo's
Yeah.
one of them.
No, No.
I thought Halo was one.
Nope. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, ooh, I can play Halo on the PlayStation. And because I watch
Halo's fun.
I watch my friends playing like Halo in the big open fields and all that.
The only time I played Halo was with was on my uncle's Xbox.
I always
had a PlayStation.
I always liked the storyline. I love playing the campaign. So
that campaign's long.
Yeah, but that's what
I remember it being long as like a 10-year-old.
So back in the day,
was it a Wednesday?
On a Wednesday, games used to be campaign heavy, really good campaigns, and the multiplayer platform was just there. It's fine, you can go play and shoot everyone up, but people wanted to buy video games for the campaign. You know, when Call of Duty first came out and whatever, that's all I would play the fucking campaigns. I'd play the fuck out of the campaigns. And now the campaigns are like fucking 5 minutes long.
And they're boring.
And they're stupid.
The story's not good. So Christopher Judge, who voiced Kratos in the new 2 God of Wars, he was at an award show presenting an award, and he made a comment saying how the free DLC for the newest God of War game is longer than the newest Call of Duty's whole campaign.
The whole game.
By like 10 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just the DLC to the game.
Yeah.
And it's so bogus. That's why I really enjoyed like the Far Cries, you know, because those are huge. That's what those games are.
Well,
they are the campaign. You know,
Baldur's Gate, and I've liked about Avatar, Pandora,
because it's a classic campaign.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't like playing like those big
multiplayer
games. I even when I was playing Need for Speed, which was kind of like an open world, you know, where you were in, you could still do, you know, missions and stuff like that, but there was other drivers still there. I'm like, I don't fucking want to deal with these people.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, Forza 5. Will you race?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, so
it's fun.
You know, I'm glad that they're starting to remember that there are not just online gamers, that there are people that just want to play the fucking game.
Yeah. I don't want the aggravation of the fucking hell let loose.
I mean, Red Dead.
Red Dead Red's a good one. But,
because Red Dead 2
came out, what, 5 years ago?
It's been a while.
5 going on 6.
Yeah.
It's been a long while. But see, I don't even have the online mode.
Yeah, you do.
It's built in, but
I bought the game for $20. If I want online, it's more.
You had because you bought it digitally. Okay.
So if I want to go online, it's going to cost me more. But I don't want to go online. I want to play the fucking story.
Yeah. So that story is, you know, just the story alone is like 70 hours of gameplay.
Right.
Yeah, and if you want to complete everything, you're looking like 140,
Well, and
150.
that's where I'm at with that Pandora game. I was playing the fuck out of it when it first came out.
Yeah.
And I probably had 20, 25 hours in already. I'm a third of the way in.
Yeah.
Exactly. Those make you those bring value to me.
Yeah.
Those bring value to the game.
Replayability. Even if I go through the whole story, there's still so much.
You still didn't do everything.
Yeah, there's so much content that can still go on.
My buddy and I have a system where, in order for a game to be worth it, like especially if we're getting it at a discounted price, like he wants to buy Hell Let Loose. And we say that,
but that's only multiplayer, isn't it?
Right. But he said for games like that, we have to pay $1 an hour. We have to play. So he's buying it for $50. He has to play at least 50 hours worth for it to be worth it.
The problem with a game like Hell Let Loose is, unless you get to play it beforehand, you know what I mean? Like even like sample it and be like, all right, yeah.
He'll come over to my house and I'll turn it on and then
but not everybody has that luxury. So they're like, oh, buy Hell Let Loose. You just spent $50.
Yeah.
On, like, if it was me, I'm not spending $50 on that game.
That's the only reason why I got it, because it was on Game Pass.
Yeah,
I'm paying $16 for Game Pass. So basically, if I play a game a month, that's totally worth it.
Right.
Just a shout out to public libraries. A lot of public libraries now have video games.
That is also true.
Fucking libraries.
But I can't do that for my Xbox because there's no disc drive.
Oh, you have the S.
That was the only thing that was available when I was getting them.
I mean, do you guys remember they used to have a Netflix like service for video games?
Yes,
GameFly.
Yeah, okay.
Fuck, that's how I played all the. That's how I played all the original Assassin's Creeds.
Yeah, those are all on.
I would love to see something like that especially like your Xbox and the PlayStations that don't have the disc drives, having a system where you can rent.
Well, I think that's what Game Pass basically is. But the problem is you don't get to choose
what's on there. Yeah,
the games that
Well, I mean, I guess it's kind of similar like a Netflix.
That is like Netflix.
Not Netflix.
Any streaming service.
Redbox kiosk. You only have what's available in there at the time, and it changes out. But
Right.
Which, by the way, one of the games on Game Pass is a mountain bike like racing game.
Oh yeah.
Oh, maybe you can learn.
I was watching the trailer. I'm like,
of course, if you can make your own, if you can make your own trail, just take this giant rock and put it there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like go around every corner that he's on in that trail.
go 15 miles per hour, just
yeah. Yeah. God damn it! Why can't I go left?
Just keep reliving
His
the
controller's
past.
got a slight right drift.
I pulled a Dale Senior on it. I went right instead of left.
Yeah, exactly.
How the fuck do you turn right on a NASCAR track? There's only one direction to go.
Dale learned how to find a way. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, he sure did.
Right into hell.
That's why I always say raise hell, praise Dale.
Florida Man, you had sent some article that you wanted.
Oh, in Missouri.
I don't fucking know. I didn't even read the article.
I don't even read half the shit you send anymore.
No, I don't either. That's why I was like, okay, whatever.
Because it used to be you would have these articles and we would talk about them on the air. Then you just start sending them. Like, I don't.
Yeah, so he sent this article and said topic or something like that, and
it was
obviously he said it to just you.
Something
guys
about burying people without permission or something.
So there was a mass grave in Jackson, Missouri, found behind a prison.
Okay.
Of
prisoners?
No.
I think no.
Oh, even better. Okay.
Yeah. So they're not marked. The only markers they had was a T-post with a number on it.
Okay, so they are marked.
But these aren't like wooden T-posts. These are like steel. Like,
yeah, they don't know who's in the graves.
Oh God.
So
yeah. It's just a steel with a number written on a plate.
Yeah.
So
like a street sign post.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So how it all started was this woman reported her son missing.
Okay.
And the police department kept denying, trying to figure out where he was. And then they pulled up on, their CADs.
Yeah.
Realizing they dealt with him.
Okay.
And
then he disappeared.
Yeah,
so
and then he
disappeared.
And then they said, "Oh, we took him to the hospital." And then they went to the hospital, and the hospital had no reports of it.
No reports of him being there. Okay.
Yeah. So, what was it? Hold on,
they ran him over and killed him, and hid the evidence by burying him behind this prison.
Yeah. Okay. Without telling, next to Ken, anything
right
of how he died.
Okay, so basically they killed him and then buried him.
Yeah.
But that's just one person.
Yeah, behind the jail, there's over 515 graves.
So what they found out was when they actually tracked this down, that he was buried behind this, they started to go, well, what's up with all this other stuff? And it was a bunch of people who were not registered as dead, that like prisoners and stuff like that.
They're just
throwing him in the back and
his grave,
not giving him proper burials, not giving.
But imagine if one of those people were due to be released, and then their family members, loved ones, were just waiting for them to come home.
Yeah. Okay. I guess it could happen, but these people aren't just from the prison, though. They're from
the streets.
I mean, the streets.
So they wouldn't sign any paperwork. So these people were technically still alive.
They're just missing.
They would they did a shitty embalming process and just threw them in the ground.
Oh, so they did attempt to embalm them?
Yeah.
So who attempted to embalm them? That's even...
Yeah.
You're going through some steps here.
My question is, why isn't the FBI investigating this?
Yeah, somebody's got to investigate that local police station in the prison.
The police. there.
They're investigating
that
themselves.
local police department?
Yeah.
No,
Investigating
yeah.
themselves.
No.
Yeah.
No,
So that's got to be done on a
Bureau
federal level.
especially if it already came out that at least this one guy,
Yeah.
who knows, but this one guy was hit.
Well, and it's one thing
run
if they
over by the
were like
police and buried.
lifers in prison and they died in prison and they were buried back there.
But there's
officially-
records.
right?
Yeah.
But the fact that they're high,
There's records and then there's a proper cemetery.
Right, and there is prisons do have places where they, where they bury people
paupers' graves.
because of they don't have family or nobody wants to. So, but the thing is 500 and how many?
15.
515. At least this one guy.
Yeah.
Okay, they know that the police ran him over.
And his grave was marked 676. There was only 515
So
graves there.
we're missing some shit.
Yeah.
But so the thing is they know that at least that one guy, that his death was covered up and they buried him back here.
Right.
And you find all these other graves. Yeah, the FBI should be all over that because a police department cannot investigate itself.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know that they're going to say, well, we don't know where all these came from. Well, that's bullshit because at least in that one case, they used that lot. So therefore, that
My
police
question
department is culpable.
a lot of police departments have body cameras.
Yes,
But this is dealing with a jail. I'm guessing jails don't have
No,
bodies.
no.
They're just
It was
using
the cops that
pauper
killed him.
cemetery back there to basically hide evidence.
Oh, the cop was doing it.
Yeah, this was the
I thought
cop.
They
I thought
pulled
this
them
was at-
over.
I thought this was at the jail, like
No.
the jailers did this.
No.
No.
It was a civilian on the streets.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why it's even
Oh.
more crazy. I mean, I'm sure there are people from the prison who,
Are in there, maybe.
are in there too. But the fact of the matter is, at least in that one case, that guy came off the streets and was buried. At least the state should be investigating that and not the local police department.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the coroner office is doing no comments. They don't.
Well, of course they are because they probably tried to embalm him.
Yeah.
They're all fucking mixed in here.
Yeah.
That whole nobody within that county should be
Should be investigating
Should be
that.
investigating
Yeah.
that.
And,
Everybody
they're supposed to, unclaimed bodies. After 5 days, they did this within 2.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously they're doing
And
it for
buried
a
him.
reason.
Well,
Yeah.
and the coroner
Hiding
didn't.
the
Well, they were
evidence.
trying to hide the fact that they ran him over and didn't get him medical treatment and
Right.
he died.
Right.
And this was their way of saying, well, he must have just run away, and
Exactly.
No.
And hopefully it'll just go away. And
yeah, she
oops.
didn't let it go.
Which-
Which good on mom.
Yeah, that's great. That's well, I mean, you fucked up by having a record of involving yourself with him in the first place, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, I think I heard bits and pieces. I think at one point he was pulled over for something, and then either that day or later, like some other day, those same cops were involved in his death too.
So you think they came back for him?
I think that's one of the storylines that I've heard, that this may have been retribution.
For whatever.
Because
Yeah.
the cops got pissed off about something that he
Yeah.
did or something he said
Yeah.
Or got away with whatever,
Yeah. that they can't
But,
do,
like I said,
that they couldn't
I
actually
haven't,
do
I
because they
haven't
had the
heard
body
anything
camera
further
on.
about there. That was one of the story arcs that I've heard that was possible. So
That's I did not know anything about that. That is
See, I thought it was just the jailer, or the jail was
no. Unfortunately, it's the cops.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be bad enough.
right.
Well, speaking of cops, did you hear about that great acorn shooting?
My God.
The only reason I heard about this, like, I haven't had a lot of news. I don't watch the news, so if I don't read it, and I don't.
I've seen so many memes.
Florida man
so
doesn't
big.
send it.
Anyways, yeah.
No, it happened in Florida, so I'm not going to send it.
Oh, that's even better. So for those people listening who don't know the story, go ahead, because you told me this, and I was like, "What? I was like, "Well, that's a fucking."
So
Here, I'll send you a video.
So this 2 cops show up to a lady's house. She had called the police saying, "Hey, my boyfriend stole my car." And then all of a sudden, the boyfriend kind of comes around the corner and like, she's like, no. So she's like, well, that's my boyfriend. So the male cop goes over there and starts asking him questions like, where's the car? He's like, oh, it's over, her mom's house. And she's like, no, it's around the corner. But they were arresting him for stealing the car and everything else. Searched him, put him in, handcuffed him, put him in the back. After he put the guy in the car, he went back over to take the report or whatever, was coming back to then do a more thorough search of the guy. Mm. At the same exact time that he's going over the car, a acorn lands on top of the car.
Oh no!
This is after they found out that she does not know where his firearm is. It could be in the car. It could be on him.
Okay.
So now he's all nervous and everything.
Of course.
The acorn hits the top of the police car. He starts rolling. And, I'm not talking, good rolling. Like Chris Farley acting like a cop rolling. Just plum, plum, plum. Drops his gun while he's yelling, shots fired, shots fired, shots fired. Unloads the clip into the police car. Sorry. Unloads the magazine into the cop car. And yells, I'm hit.
And all right, so
wait, there was more to this. He shot his own vehicle.
Yeah. Yes. So
and the woman cop claimed he got shot.
Yeah.
The woman cop
Excellent.
in the report says she never heard a shot fired until he started shooting, and she asked where is it coming from? And she unloaded a mag into the car as well.
The police cruiser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2 magazines have been dumped into the police cruiser.
Mm-hmm. Now the suspect in the car was fine.
he was in the cruiser.
He was in the cruiser,
handcuffed, unharmed. Not sure.
That is shoddy police work on all accounts.
So, what was it? Then she asked if he's okay, and he goes, "I don't know. I'm just feeling really weird."
That's not the response.
Well, she asked who? The other cop? Or the bad guy?
The other deputy behind a car,
that just yelled, I'm hit, shots fired.
I'm hit,
But part of the body cam footage is as he's rolling, his gun falls out of his hand and he scrambles to get his gun.
Yeah, that's after he unloads. He puts his gun down and he's like, where's my mag? And then loads it up again. It's a fucking have you seen the video?
No.
Dude, it looks like something out of a movie.
No.
You don't hear the acorn hit or anything.
Yeah,
you just hear him yelling, shots fired, and then he rolls.
Unless there's a couple of videos I saw on TikTok that you see where they slowed it down, you can see the acorn hit, but you don't hear it on the camera. So it could have been that loud. I mean, the thing is, it would have been a thunk, not a report of a gunshot.
Right.
Now, being from Florida, the trees are pretty tall, and acorns do hurt when they hit you.
Yeah.
They do.
Same thing here in Ohio.
Are loud as hell.
I
They
agree.
hit a car, but they're not gunshot loud.
Right.
No. What the are you watching it?
Yeah.
But, so, this kind of raises 2 points. One, he resigned.
Hold on. Are you watching this? Like on YouTube or something?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. I can bring
Are you watching it from police activity?
I'm watching a news clip of it who has the body cam footage.
Of his?
All right. So, while you guys are getting that up, I'm going to make a point. So, we've discussed that, policing in this country needs to be, there needs to be some reforms. This guy can resign from that police station and just go to another county or another state and get a new job as a police officer, where he is, hopefully there's no acorns nearby. But, what's to stop this guy from freaking out like that again?
Right. No, I agree.
Is it wrong that I think that we should have a 3-strike policy on shit like this? You fuck up this bad 3 times in your career, you're done, period. End of story.
This wasn't just a fuck up.
Let's see what we got here. This is a
commercial.
Yeah.
Where are you watching the video from?
On YouTube.
A deputy screams, "Shots fired," takes out his gun and fires it multiple times at the patrol car nearby. The man inside the car, who was in police custody, was not hurt, deputies say. But the suppressed gunshot the deputy thought he heard was actually a falling acorn. Investigators with the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office in Florida say
crawling on his hands and knees.
This is newly released
Volusia
video
County?
of the incident that occurred in November 2023. Watch again in slow motion as the acorn falls on the roof of the car. At the time of the shooting, officers were on the scene responding to a report of a woman's stolen car. It was the victim's boyfriend who was suspected of theft and in handcuffs inside the patrol car. Deputies had just searched him for weapons. "All I could do was lean over and play dead to prevent getting shot in the head," the suspect Mark Jackson wrote on Facebook. The deputy resigned a month later, and he has not been charged with any crimes.
So that wasn't okay.
Jackson says he was taken to the hospital, booked into jail, and later released without facing any charges.
Yeah, I would think.
This is Inside Edition Digital.
So the girlfriend was going to press charges. I bet she dropped them after that.
I almost got my boyfriend killed. Never mind. Keep the fucking car.
It's bad enough I almost got him arrested, but killed? No. We can't.
I know I said I never want to see him again, but not like that.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a short news story video. There were longer ones out there, but
Yeah.
what a fucking moron.
I'm actually
It
glad
looks like something out of a movie.
Yeah.
So I'm actually glad you just did that you played that through here. So do we want to talk about what we discussed the other day? About
Oh, yeah. So you guys weren't privy to this, I don't think.
No.
I think it was just you and me.
Yeah.
No, because none
Well,
of you
this is
fuckers
a
call
hate
me.
crime.
Hold on.
It's because we're younger. That's what it is.
It was in lieu of the fact that we have this Bluetooth device, and you guys even on the podcast said, why didn't he just call in?
Oh, we're talking about that. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, I didn't even think about it.
So the Viking brought up, he goes, "Why don't we get a Google number for the show?"
Oh, I remember talking about this.
Okay.
Okay. So he goes, "Why don't we get a Google number for the show?" And I'm like,
so we're not calling your personal number.
well, not only that, but I have an old phone. Mm-hmm. I can literally just leave it here,
Right.
and it will have nothing on it except for, Google Voice. Mm-hmm. And then people could call in, leave a message. They could call in during the show if they wanted, if that happened, or if one of us is out, you can call that number and it's automatically, and then you're not, my personal number is not.
And we could get text as well, and we could read text.
Yeah.
To play the voicemails over the
over the air and everything.
Right.
Like, the people wwho are listening, we kind of would like to know what you think. Would you utilize that? How many times are you like yelling at us, during a podcast or something about something that we say?
No, this is dumb. You shouldn't have talked about this.
Yeah,
You should.
Feedback's going to help us get better. At
Yeah,
this
like,
anyway.
and I would love for someone to be like, "You guys are fucking morons talking about, $50 a kid a month or whatever."
Fucking minimum wage shouldn't be a thing or something.
or that, or that's fun feedback. Not only that, but like your voice or at least your text message could be on the air on the podcast, so you're almost participating. I don't know. I think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
And he brought it up, and you get a Google Voice number. We can put that online, and who cares?
Right.
It's a Google Voice number.
Yeah,
You know what I
it'll be
mean?
right through the, it'll be linked on the description. So any of the sites that you use, it'll be there.
Yeah, I think it would be fun. I mean, I know if I was someone listening, I think that would be.
That'd be worth it.
I think so, right? Like, wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
So I think I actually meant to bring that phone with me today, and I didn't.
Wow. Slacking.
Yeah, I'd have to find a charger for it though too. So
What kind of charge I have? I probably have a cord at home.
it's a Note 10. I think it's USB-C.
Yeah.
If it's a USB-C or even a USB micro, I think I've got cords at home.
Well, I don't have a block.
I have those too.
I
All right, well,
I have a block too.
Bring both of those cords next time or whatever.
I just bring my Crown Royal bag of cords.
Cords.
Oh, you see they're coming out with a new Crown Royal?
No.
Crown Royal Blackberry.
BlackBerry.
Ooh, I might have to try it.
Actually,
Yeah.
I believe it was released, but it's hard to
Yeah.
find.
It's like the original peach. It's
Every once in a while, I need a new Crown
disgusting.
Royal bag, so I'll get, the
Yeah, exactly.
Those things come in handy. Dice bags and coin pouches and shit for things.
That's like the thing. Like everybody had a Crown Royal bag in their vehicle. Like it held the change, or it was always something. Like everybody had a fucking Crown Royal bag.
Yeah. As a gamer, that was a big one to have because.
A tabletop gamer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because it was nice.
I mean, I literally have like a purple Crown Royal bag full of dice. Now I have a brown one from the Maple, I think it was. That's just all my cords.
Nice. That's a good idea. I mean, I don't drink much, so I don't really.
No, that's the thing is like, I was feeling whiskey instead of rum.
Feeling froggy.
Oh, yeah, fuck it. Let's get this one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, nice bag.
And he went with Canadian. Fucking Canadians.
Fuck Canada.
Playing Canada.
Actually, I always gave my dad shit about drinking Canadian Mist. I'm like, if you're going to drink whiskey, get some Jameson or something.
Irish whiskey.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Jameson's the way to go.
Yeah.
Did you see I think it's somewhere in California, but one of the senators over there wants minimum wage to be $50 an hour.
50.
That's a bit much.
Everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, I'm not agreeing with the $50 an hour, but they are saying that minimum wage, like our middle class should be making $175,000 a year.
Yeah, that
like
would
minimum?
Be, yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Because I would listen to some people saying that even if you
3 times
are making $20 an hour and you're paying your bills and all that, if you're not, most banks now are not in certain areas, obviously. If you're not making at least $100,000 or more income, they won't even consider you for a mortgage.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Which
if you're only making $50,000, $60,000 a year, even if you did everything right, you had no student debt, no car payments,
great score.
It's a great score. Yeah. You still don't even have enough income for a bank to go, yeah, we'll consider you for a loan.
Well, there is a lot to be said about that because we're lower middle class, I would say.
Mm-hmm. At this point, yeah, due to the economy, we are considered lower middle class.
And we make base less than $50,000 a year. I mean, I think we start at 45? 45.
Yeah, something like that.
45, maybe.
I think we're up to 47, 48.
Yeah, woohoo! Yeah. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
Our step raises really aren't enough to
write home about.
To write home about.
What's
but I mean, at least it's a raise.
No, hopefully if the economy stabilizes, by the time we max out, we might actually be okay. But
maybe if we get a pay raise.
I said maybe if our contract
if we can get a fucking contract.
That would be nice.
3 years later.
Well, I was actually talking to the new president of the union, and he's like, it's not uncommon to be 16 months.
I know, but it really shouldn't be.
No,
because
if you should be negotiating a year early.
That's what I'm saying. A contract expires, okay? So if you know that a contract could take a year to put into place, then you need to be negotiating that contract so we don't go so long without a contract. We are, by all technicalities, contractless.
Yeah. And now, pretty soon here, we're going to be a third of the way through our new contract.
Exactly.
With no contract.
And that's going to put us in a different tax bracket come this tax season.
Yeah. And all that back pay, they're going to negotiate all that back pay you should have gotten out.
They can't legally do that.
Yes, they will.
But they can't. That's wage theft.
It doesn't matter because you're under your pay scale right now. That's the only pay scales that they have to go off of. So they're going to say, that's fine. Places do this all the time. They'll say, that's fine. We'll give you a raise, but we're not paying back pay.
But then better make that raise worth it.
You didn't give me a raise because the contract is going to be retroactively applied.
But it'll be written into the contract. They do it all the time.
See, that's got to be illegal.
It's not.
How the fuck is that not illegal? If you're going to say, well, we're going to give you $8 an hour raise a year ago, but we're not going to give you that. That's fucking, a year's worth of $8 minimum wage.
I'm not saying
that's basically $30,000. That
I don't disagree with you, but they're going to. But that's what's going to happen. So you're not going to get back pay.
So
I will.
If we were
sue.
say it is that 30 grand, I don't think I'd want that in one lump sum. I'd rather have it added.
I could see them breaking it up like per quarter or something.
The president
like that
said they don't do that, so I don't know.
They won't. I guarantee you.
The president. I was talking. He was saying that they don't do that. Now I know our steward that we've had says they have, but I was talking to the union president, and he's saying no, they don't do that.
Oh no, they've definitely done that. They actually did it with the last contract.
It was a percentage. Like, I'll even forego the fucking overtime, but you better fucking pay me some of that back pay.
At least the base pay.
Yeah.
They, I think the last time they went with like a stipend, it was like a couple $100 or something like that.
No, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Because you're talking.
Thank you for all that work. Here's $100.
We're talking about federal minimum wage
one
being
day's worth of work.
an hour.
Yeah.
If we were to go up that much, that is an entire year's salary of minimum wage that you're stealing from me.
Well, and that's exactly why they're not going to pay it. They're going to say that's going to put undue hardship on,
Take the fucking money out of DeJoy's pocket.
Well,
He got his raise. All the managers got their raise.
All the
And the
supervisors
fucking ones
got
that are
theirs.
actually doing the work
did
aren't
get
getting
their
their
raises,
fucking
yeah.
raises.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
I know. And they're going to blast the media with, we're in dire straits. We've lost so much money. Well, then why are you giving supervisors raises?
Yeah.
Why are you giving yourself a raise? Why are all these other people, except for the face of the fucking post office, the people who are out there day in and day out, most people don't know anybody else, but they know their letter carrier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So write your
When they
congressman.
have questions, they ask us. They don't go down to the post office.
They don't call the post office. They don't do anything. They ask you.
Yeah. And then
you're the face they know.
sometimes you have to be like, oh, well, that's a question you're going to have to call in for.
Right.
Like, where's my package?
Yeah, and
I don't know.
That happens. Yeah, I have no fucking clue. What does it say online? But
I help them when they're trying to figure out where their tracking number is, and it's like, all
This
right,
is
well,
why we
just
need-
click here.
But I don't give a shit. My job, what we do, is worth more than what do we start out at? $22 an hour.
Absolutely.
My job is worth more than $22 fucking dollars an hour.
No. And especially when UPS is now starting off at
$50 an hour.
It's $30 an hour.
Well, yeah, they top out at $49 fucking dollars an hour with their benefits 100% paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because I
Something
need that,
needs to change.
I want that money. I got shit I got to pay.
Looks like you got a prosthetic leg.
Hey, you're walking pretty normal. Hell, you're walking better than Papa Smurf.
Fuck you.
There's still a bit of a limp there just because I have to shift onto a bigger boot and all that.
Dude, on Thursday when I saw Papa Smurf back at the office, he was walking like an Oompa Loompa.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, fuck, this hurts.
I got the new job for you.
And a lot's to be said, not only but CCAs are vastly underpaid.
Yeah.
$19 an hour.
Which is good money, you think, when you start. You're like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm making 19.
That's more than most jobs.
1962.
Especially since I was coming from a job where I was two jobs where I was getting paid $13 and $10 an hour.
Yeah.
So
you're basically, you're almost making that up.
Yeah, so I was getting I averaged it out. I was getting a $5 increase just working 40 hours a week, which is all I was hoping for.
Right. Oh, well, you got more than that.
Well, I got more than that, but it's like just $40, 40 hours a week. I already made $5 more an hour, and that was at $18.71 or whatever the
You want to hear
start.
something really fucked up? If not counting, so my weekly on average without any overtime is about $900 to $1,000. And that's counting all my.
Well, okay,
that's
that's money's going.
No, I'm counting that. So that's $2,000 or $1,000. When I was a manager for Giant Eagle, I was only making $400 a week. So I am literally making less than I was as a manager for Giant Eagle because they paid my insurance 100%.
Yeah,
and I mean, some of it's my fault. I maxed out my retirement stuff because I don't have the luxury to put 1% in at a time. So
Florida, I do.
Right.
Yeah.
I actually have more than maxed out.
I'm getting there soon. But so yeah, that's maxed out. I do put money in different banks, which actually helped me because my bank account got hacked.
Yeah.
So I was able to switch everything over to my other bank. But yeah, just when I have no overtime and I'm bringing home $900.
That's pretty shitty. Yeah, I think like my base like paycheck.
Like 13.
No, it's like I bring home like 1,100.
No, I think I'm at like 13.
Yeah, your insurance and things don't cost the same as mine.
Yeah, so I have a single for insurance.
Right.
I don't do like the high tier insurance. I do the middle tier. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I
need to get some of that back pay because
we don't like it.
I burned up a lot of my fucking savings during being off. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know what that's like.
Yeah.
And I need to get that because some of it was my mother-in-law's money in our savings account.
So you need to get it back.
I need to put it back in.
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do. I mean, obviously they're not going to come to a contract agreement.
I wish that they would, at least update us in, some format, the flyers, something on the site that says these are the 5 or 6 things that we're asking.
The way that they went into contract negotiations this time with the regime that we have up there, it was terrible. They've literally they're into Joy's pocket, basically, is what they are, and they've told us nothing. We don't know what they're even negotiating. There wasn't input from us, like that we're supposed to be a union. You are supposed to listen to us and hear what we have to say.
Yeah.
They said one of the things they're trying to negotiate into a contract is carrier safety from being robbed and things like that. That's not a contract negotiable thing.
Yeah.
That's something that the post office needs to do.
That's the company that needs to
to protect its carriers. That has nothing to do.
Pay for my own bodyguard because I'm getting robbed.
That has nothing to do with my wages and hours of work and things like that. That's what a contract is supposed to be. Not how are we going to help secure a postal worker.
Yeah.
They've gotten so far away from the things that actually affect us and that are actually supposed to be part of our contract.
While I don't disagree with getting rid of the different tiers.
Yeah. We have 2 tables right now.
Is that really a priority?
Tables.
I mean, getting money in your workers' pockets should be priority number 1.
Yeah. But I don't have an issue with getting rid of the 2 tables.
Yeah. But it should be priority number 1
because the people who are on table 1 are maxed out.
Yeah.
So it's not going to affect them at all.
Right.
So fine, you get rid of table 1. Everybody who's working now anyways is on table 2.
Right.
So if table 1's maxed out, well, table 1 and table 2 max out together. They're the same wage at the end. So just decide which table you want to use, and that's it.
Yeah.
Well,
they're going to go with the lower one.
Well, table one was basically more raises up front, and as you put your time in, your raise is actually a smaller amount. Whereas right now your raises are
more evenly spaced out.
More equal in.
No, I'd rather have more raises.
I'd rather have more raises up front.
Taper out at the end. Yeah,
I'd way rather have more raises up front because when you're new, when you're younger in your career, that's when you need that. Guys topped out at 34, 35, 36, whatever it is. If they get a quarter raise, well, that's okay because they're already making a vast amount of money.
Percentage wise, a quarter $0.25 an hour is nothing to them, but for someone who's only making $24.25, that quarter is a higher percentage
of what. Yeah, right, exactly.
It's still a small percentage, but it's a higher percentage of increase. Yeah,
and you know that's what I've always had that issue with.
They also need to do when they get rid of the COLA raises. Yeah, it needs to go either reverse of the lower end gets a bigger bump.
No, it just needs to be
just equal across the board.
It just needs to be equal across the board.
Yeah.
You know, if top pay, they say, COLA was 3%. So, top pay is going to get a 3% raise. Well, technically, I guess you could say we get a 3% raise also, but our 3% is not the same as their 3%. Right. Mm-hmm. So it even more for doing the same job, with what we were talking about, right? For doing the same job, you've now made that gap even wider,
right? Just
because when if they're making if their COLA raise is an extra 75 cents an hour, well, my COLA raise is
it's like 25.
It's 25 cents an hour, right?
All because we just didn't put enough. We didn't put as much time in as they have.
But we're doing the same thing.
Yeah, we're doing the same.
So how does it make sense that he's getting 75 cents an hour more? I'm making less money, but I need 75 cents an hour more.
Right.
Whereas he doesn't. Mm-hmm. So at least make it equal. If he's getting 75 cents, well, then give me 75 cents.
So it should go off the top tier.
It should go off the top tier, whatever that is. If it's 3% and that 3% is equal to 75% at the top tier, well, then everybody should get 75%.
Yeah.
Right.
Not it's 3% at the top tier. Well, here's your 3% at the bottom tier. There's your 25 cents or 17 cents or whatever the fuck. Cents. Like last time, it was fucking something stupid like that.
Yeah. It was 10 cents. Oh, great.
You don't even notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would notice almost $1 increase.
You would notice
it wouldn't be a big notice. You're looking at like say Viking like 900. You're looking at like 920.
Right.
But still but you can actually see it compared to 10 cents. You're looking at 900 to 902. Like, oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah. The extra $2 that can give you nothing.
And that's why
interest.
And that's why every time we got a COLA raise, I upped my thrift savings plan.
Right.
That's what because who cares? Mm-hmm. What's a fucking 3%?
Yeah, what's
a 3%? So I put 1% more into my TSP.
Right.
You don't notice that.
No.
Yeah.
And that's what I just keep doing. Yeah. COLA raises, I just kept
I need to get in there.
Adding another percentage. They match up to 5.
Yeah.
It's a weird math equation, but it matches up to 5 somehow.
But that's what I did. I maxed out to 5 right off the rip. And then
I did too.
Yeah. But I haven't gotten in there to change it. I need to up it.
I do. I up it every time we get a COLA raise, which
I've only had one COLA raise so far, so I haven't updated it.
Well, we didn't get a COLA raise this year, so.
Well, I've only had one COLA raise last year.
Right. So, and technically, with our raise, I was thinking about this. With our raise, we don't have a contract. So if they don't put us up to the next step, there's no recourse for us. What if they say, well, you don't have a contract?
Yeah.
So you're not getting a raise.
You're not getting that, $1,500 a year raise.
Which again is negotiable. You're hardly going to notice that.
Right.
That's $100 a month.
Mm-hmm. That's great, but
yeah. And then you start taking taxes and everything else out. Like that's
you're looking at like $50.
Now the problem is going to be they're going to raise our minimum. They're going to do some jump if they do it. But then our insurance is going to cost more. And
well, see, that's where the problem is. I do think we will get a raise.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible for them to say, no, you're not getting a fucking raise.
Especially after UPS and Amazon became unionized.
And UAW, doing their thing.
Yeah.
Fucking UAW went with like 40%.
Yeah.
And got it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, because they were able to prove that, you can't say you can't afford 40% when
exactly.
You guys got 40%.
Yeah. So.
Ooh, okay. I just did the math. I would say we're making $25. We get up to 35.
Well, yeah, and that's a significant. That is a significant difference that makes a difference.
That puts us at what the top tier is now.
Basically, working a second part-time job, 40 hours a week.
Right.
Yeah, at minimum wage.
Yeah.
And so I do. We will get a raise. What it will be, I don't know. We will get a raise. I know that. But then companies come on the backside of it and say, well, we're gonna pay 10% less of your health insurance.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for that fucking 8% raise. You just took 10%. You effectively put me in the hole even more.
In the whole 2%. Yeah.
That's how they do it.
I know, and that's how they get around with it. And that's
healthcare.
But like I was saying before, like, you know, public employees, that used to be a perk of being a public sector government employee. Was your healthcare benefits?
I want the same healthcare that my congressmen and women get.
Why not?
Yeah.
Same pay they get.
No,
what? They only have to
even their base pay is good enough.
No, but here's the thing. He's not wrong. What's the difference between their job status and ours?
And they get to keep it, after 2 terms or something like that?
Yeah, but it's neither here nor there. What is the difference between their status and ours?
They're elites. They do insider trading.
Are they not?
We're talking about their healthcare.
Are they not public employees?
They are public employees, yeah.
Are they not federal public employees?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So why am me, a federal public employee, not privy to the same benefits?
Because they're doing more. They
are.
They, you know what it is? They have a suit on.
This is the worst.
And
They wear the tie. They wear the tie.
But even if you want to say they do more, that is reflected in their pay then.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
And they give themselves pay
To
raises.
counter that, your smart ass point, this current congressional administration has done the least of any Congress
In the same amount of time. Or
ever.
just
They're just sitting on their fucking hands. How many times are we gonna fucking delay the budget?
Oh, that's coming up next week.
Again?
Yeah.
Great.
And they're all in recess. They have the House, I think, has 4 days to come up with
that
a
was
plan.
what, 8 months ago?
Yeah. They have the House
originally
has
came up?
4 days to come up with a plan, and the Senate only has 2.
Yeah, I mean, why?
So they're going to kick the fucking ball down, or the can down the road again.
Exactly.
And, you know, I think at this point, you know, and I know, you know, I'm not trying to play too partisan. The House, which is completely run by the Republicans right now,
It
is just delaying until right before the election. Go, look, we can't, you know, Biden couldn't even get a budget plan, even though it had nothing to do with him, because they were the ones that were supposed to come up with it.
Right, and I do agree with that.
Because they're doing the same thing about the border.
But this is like where our government needs to fucking get their head out of their asses on both sides and fucking work with each other, because you're running a fucking country, and right now you're running it into the fucking ground because you can't even pass a budget that says, well, we're going to pay this and like we do in our homes.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't. I can't keep delaying the inevitable. I can't be like, you know what? I haven't passed a budget yet, so I'm not going to pay my mortgage.
Well, and the thing is, because of this stuff, you know, there's 3 major worldwide credit agencies.
Correct.
We used to have AAA plus ratings on all 3 of them. We have lost 2 of them have dropped our rating.
Yes.
And there's, you know, if we don't turn it around, we're never getting into that rating back.
And anybody who knows anything about their credit score, it takes a lot to get back up.
Well, yeah, and the problem is, every time our world credit rating drops, that means that we lose more equitability. You know, the dollar loses value.
Yeah.
And
The dollar means nothing now. It's not
does.
It's not nothing, but
but
it's not
on the world stage. The dollar is one of the most stable currencies.
correct.
Yeah.
So if we are losing our credit rating, that destabilizes our dollar on a global scale.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And that
has dire complications down the road for wars, trade,
all kinds of shit.
Yeah,
absolutely. They just need to fucking look. If I don't fucking, they just need to
look. If I didn't do shit for 2 years, I wouldn't have a job.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You need to. They need to stay in session until they come. And by in session, I mean no. You're not going back home. No, you're a fucking congressman, congresswoman. No, your job is to be there and do this. Mm-hmm. So until this is done, you don't go anywhere. I'm sorry you had a fucking vacation planned. Too fucking bad.
Could you imagine
Because they
we do that for our job?
Hey, so and so quit. We need to cancel your vacation, and you have two options: quit or get fired.
Right. And no. So you're going to sit there and you're going to show up to your votes because that's what you're paid for. You're not going to be like, oh, well, I'm at home campaigning fucking 2 years ahead of time or whatever it is. No, fuck you. You're elected to Congress. Get your ass in that fucking Senate or House and fucking do your job.
Yeah, I'm going to put money on the table that they're going to kick the can down the
I know they will.
street again.
Again, for another month, another 2 months, whatever it is. And it should have been done last year.
And the problem is the people that sit out there, in the country going, well, just let it shut down. That'll fix it.
No, it won't.
No, you're basically cutting off, social programs. You're cutting off our military employees. Those are the ones that are not going to get paid.
You're cutting off air traffic controllers.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
A shutdown is not going to affect the congressman, which I think is bullshit. If you are not doing your job, you shouldn't get paid.
I agree.
So if your money comes from a federal, job and you are not, you didn't find the budget, you don't get it either.
But don't forget these people who are deemed essential still have to show up to work.
Yeah.
And not get paid.
Yeah.
Don't forget that. They are still showing up to work and they are not getting paid.
Well, they'll get their back pay.
That's a bullshit fucking excuse because
I know that's why
because
I said it
my
that way.
mortgage company, because my car loan company, they don't give a fuck.
See, you want to say that? Okay, they should get back pay plus interest because the late charges on my mortgage are going to be there.
I agree with you. I agree wholeheartedly with you, but that's what they don't think about. Those people who are, do you have a job? Yeah, I have a job. How much do you make? Nothing. What do you mean you make nothing? Well, I have to show up to work because I have a job, but the government shut down, so they're not paying me. Why would you show up to work?
Because then you lose your job.
Then you'll lose your job that you're not getting paid at.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here. Right. I understand a lot of non-essentials will be laid off and, national parks and stuff like that will be closed. And, that shit sucks too. But think of those federal employees. And believe it or not, there are a ton of federal employees everywhere across this nation. You may not realize it, but they're going to be forced. They're going to be forced to show up to work without pay, without fucking pay.
Yeah.
But they're still going to be expected to pay their bills. They're still going to be expected.
It's the boomers in the office. That's what they can't make a decision.
It's not just the boomers, though.
Yeah. There is a lot to be said about boomers. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
There needs to be age limits, term limits, all this stuff. But because they do come from a different line of thinking, they grew up in almost a different world. I mean, where
they grew up in fear,
where the dad would go to work,
the nuclear family,
and that's how they grew up, and for many, many years of their lives, that's how it was. And because they're in a position they are now, it's probably still that way because they can afford it. But they don't give two shits, like you said. The government shuts down; it doesn't fucking matter to Congress.
Nope.
They're going to get paid.
Yeah,
they still get paid. Yeah,
and they'll put themselves in for a pay raise.
And they'll put themselves in for a fucking pay raise.
Is the way government runs. Things that are passed now might not take effect for another year or two.
Correct.
You could, as some of these boomers are in office, pass a bill today. Not that they're doing anything, but by the time that bill actually comes into effect, they're dead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There is a very real chance, no matter who gets elected a president this year, could fucking die. Not by, some accident or by from natural fucking causes in the White House because they're too fucking old. And I don't care what side of the aisle. Both of those fucking candidates are too fucking old.
I saw a commercial.
Not if we go with Nikki Haley.
I saw a commercial.
She's not the front runner. I'm talking about the two current front runners.
I saw a commercial for The Daily Show. Jon Stewart's back on The Daily Show on Mondays, right? And he just said something about that. He goes, this year's presidential election beats the age of the candidates by 4 years because they set the record The last fucking time.
Yeah,
they ran.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, like, come on. This is not something we want to be proud about.
Right.
Look at all the world's
leaders.
Yeah.
They're young.
They're not
They're
old.
40s and
Yeah.
50s.
They're not old.
I think probably the oldest
Yeah.
one outside of us is like in their 60s. Yeah.
Which
King Charles.
that's still a
That
reasonable age.
He's not the actual.
The fucking monarchy in England is
Yeah,
not.
I know.
It's a constitutional
I know.
monarchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
Which he has cancer.
yeah.
So
he
he's
does.
probably stepping down soon.
But that's
for his
fine.
son.
All that's going to do is get passed down. But they have a parliament. They have a government.
Yeah.
With a prime
But
minister.
even he's young.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah.
These people in other countries.
I mean, well, how old Trudeau? In
Trudeau?
Canada?
I don't know.
He's
Probably
he's
in- probably in his
40s. Yeah.
I would assume
43.
so. Even if he was in his 50s, he definitely doesn't look old, and he's not old. Like,
Right.
How old is Kim Jong Un?
so he
Trudeau
was
is 52.
So-
okay.
he was really
He looks
young
young.
when he took over.
Yeah.
because his dad died. He was really young, so he's.
Un's only 40.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's not
But he was
that
only
old.
like probably like 30 in his low 30s.
He was
when he took over.
pretty young. Again, that's a different kind of government, but still,
Yeah.
he's
Right.
He's
There's
probably, he's
there's
probably one of the
fucking
youngest.
There's turnover in all these other countries, and we're sitting here going, "Yay, geriatric retirement home,
Yeah.
White House." What
It's no, that is the best retirement home ever. It's the White House.
That's
And
all
capital.
fine. Yeah, but it just shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
I mean, when you have your medical aid wheeling you into the chambers of the House
to make a vote.
to help you vote,
and you don't
Right.
even know what you're voting
And you don't
on.
know what you're voting. They're telling you what to vote.
yeah,
Yeah. And then you die in
You're
office.
done.
And then you do die.
Yeah. No, we have to. I will concede on. I've said for years term limits, but I will concede on term limits. I'm putting a hard cap on all political positions in this country at 65.
No, I agree with that.
And then that will, but that would, you know what? Your term limit is retirement age.
Then they would just keep upping it.
Well, they're upping it now
They're
anyways.
trying, yeah.
But my thing is that'll keep you. 65 is retirement age, which is still fucking too goddamn much.
Yeah.
There was a time in this country retirement age was 52.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
But they
and then it
kept
went to
putting-
55, which okay, 55 still fine. And then
that still gets you 30 years into a company.
exactly,
Yeah.
there's nobody in this country who should put 30 fucking years of work. Whether it's with the same company or not, I don't give a shit. There's nobody in this country who can put in 30 years of fucking work and still not be able to retire. That is fucking ridiculous.
So I started at age 16 working, official job.
Me too.
Granted, part-time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even if we go off from when I first started working full-time,
Full-time.
so 18.
Yeah.
You'd be done in 4 years.
I'm 43 now.
Oh,
so
3
yes.
years.
In 5 years, I have worked full-time more or less 30 years.
Right.
And
And now they're saying,
the end's not even in sight.
now they're saying if
Yeah.
if you start at 18, you can't retire till 67.
Yeah.
That's your entire life.
50 years
That's
spent
50
working.
Well, we're living longer.
But I don't give a shit. That is 50 fucking years of work.
Yeah.
And still some people get put in all that time. Doesn't matter with company because you paid into Social Security or you paid into this or that or everything else. There are still people who get to 50 fucking years of work and they still can't retire and enjoy a life. What is the point
Yeah.
in living?
Yeah. Well, not
What
to
is the
mention,
point in working?
A
And
lot of
here's the
people
thing.
don't even see that.
here's
And
the
then
thing.
They keep it.
Then they retire and die.
There are obviously some extenuating circumstances, but when you get into the mid-40s and above, you risk a heart attack, stroke,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and working your ass off increases those odds.
Of course.
Of that. So not like I have to work my ass off, and then I have to constantly be worried about is today the day that I have a widow killer heart attack, and
Sure.
I don't get to enjoy any of the rest of my life.
People forget, we have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
Well, who the fuck's happy when they get to retire at 70 fucking years old?
Yeah.
What are
I
you
don't
doing?
want to work that long.
How many
I say
70?
50 and you're.
But how many
you're set.
70-year-olds do you know?
Well, and it's funny is the ones that are writing this saying, well, we should change it to 70 are the ones that have been collecting Social Security for the last 10 years.
But a 70-year-old person, right? How many 70-year-old people do you know are in good health?
Maybe 1 in 100.
I mean, it happens, sure. There are some that are just very vibrant. But the fact of the matter is by the time you hit 70...
You have some serious medical condition.
There is something going on with you and your body. Mm-hmm. Whether it's you can't walk right, whether it's something. You have a heart issue. You have some type of disease. Mm-hmm. You're fucking Alzheimer's, dementia. Things like that. And what are you supposed to do now? You're supposed to go on fucking vacations at 70 years old where you can't hardly take care of yourself?
Yeah, exactly.
That's you're spending
what they want us to
all
do.
Your Social Security money on drugs,
medicine,
just to stay alive. That's the other problem.
And not only that, but you get your Social Security, right? You get your Medicaid. You have to then pay for Medicaid Plan B to get your prescriptions and things of that nature. It's not even included in your fucking Social Security that you worked 50 fucking years for.
Yeah, in my opinion, once you hit that age that you get to retire, you won the game of life. You
That's
get
it.
to to ride off the sunset and never have to worry about money again.
I mean.
That's how it should be.
I don't disagree with having to live within your means, but it shouldn't be you shouldn't have to. All these old people go be fucking Walmart greeters or whatever.
Yeah, but even if you do that and you make over a certain amount, they pull your Social Security.
They shouldn't be able to do that.
No, because you spent your lifetime earning that. They shouldn't be able to take that away from you because you have to work another fucking job. Or like your mom, she enjoys working.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. So she went and she got a part-time job or full-time or whatever the fuck it is. And just because she likes working, she shouldn't be taxed Social Security. She shouldn't be dinged on her Social Security. She worked a lifetime to earn all that.
She worked in the government for 30 years. And
now they're taking it away. They're double taxing her, basically.
Yeah. Her social, if she made like whatever, $100 more, every $3 they would have pulled $2 from.
Yeah, and right now it's every $2 they're pulling $1.
Yeah.
So it's 50% of her Social Security is being taken away from her.
I think,
not to mention the fact that she's paying into Social Security because she's working.
I can't remember if it was somebody that was worried about their pension or their Social Security, but I remember when I was at Giant Eagle, there was a day where it was towards the end of the year. I was like, I need to take the rest of the year off because if I make any more money, I'm going to get it's going to affect me. Yeah.
How does that make sense to anyone?
Yeah. Doesn't.
It doesn't. Meanwhile, our congressmen and women,
they don't have to worry about it.
They put in 2 terms and their retirement is paid the rest of their fucking life.
Yeah. Not that they need it, because in that 2 years in office, they went from $174,000 salary, so that would be $300,000, to being multi-millionaires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not sure how that happened.
From lobbyists
and then
everything
family.
else.
Insider tradings
and things like that, which the SEC is not going to fucking
investigate. That one pissed me off so
investigate.
bad during 2020 when there was a couple senators who...
Oh, they all bought like the 3M.
They sold all their stocks in travel and stuff like that,
and put all in
tech and medical goods. Mm-hmm. And then that's insider trading. We should investigate. We investigated ourselves. We found that we're not guilty.
Yeah, we found nothing. Yeah. We found nothing wrong here. No. Nothing wrong.
That was the quickest decision ever made.
Yeah, they actually made a decision there.
Yeah. That's as bad as me cheating on my wife and going, I'm going to investigate that, honey. Nope, I didn't do it.
And then they don't forget. And then they had a problem, and they investigated the whole GameStop thing.
Yeah,
because the American public.
Yeah. We're making money.
They did a coup on that.
The people.
What was it? Robin Hood that said you can't even pull it out anymore.
Yeah, they stopped. They stopped trading it. They stopped nothing. You couldn't do anything with it until it tanked, and then they're like, okay.
Yeah.
But the government investigated that and saw wrongdoing.
What was it? it was on like some back page thing that all these people.
I caught wind of it way too late on that because I was actually playing around with that acorn stuff. And I'm like, it's because I was getting that stimulus and I was still working because I was essential.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody was fucking essential. Do you realize that everybody was fucking essential?
I did landscaping and I was essential.
How is that essential? Like, whatever. But they saw a fault in that because the American people came together and said, you know what?
Let's buy a bunch.
Let's fuck with Wall Street.
Yeah.
They saw a problem with that.
Is when the people start to rise up against the overlords, they shut it down. And that's the problem we have. And, that's, between that and the constant back and forth red versus blue bickering that we have going on in this country, instead of saying
1, 2, 3, 1.
Still red versus blue, whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck it, bring it on. What I'm worried about is the Marine. But he's broken right now, so I cannot run him.
Hey, I'm back to work, baby.
But anyways, it needs to be not red versus blue. It needs to be us versus them. And that's the revolution we need.
Well, that's why they're keeping us so divided.
Yeah,
because they don't want us teaming up and going after them.
And when you have something
like,
supposed
to be in charge of them,
right?
And here's the thing.
And when you have something like GameStop, where all these American public came together.
Yeah,
because they came together and fucking GameStop fucking stocks were soaring.
Well, here's another one. Talking about that kind of stuff. So Congress, one of the few bills they're trying to get passed is you cannot boycott a business that supports Israel. So they're saying that I can't boycott Starbucks.
Fuck you.
While simultaneously saying, well, you might have some money in your bank account if you didn't drink Starbucks. Think about that.
You might be able to buy a house if you didn't get your $6 coffees every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're saying you can't boycott Starbucks.
Well, first off, they can't stop me from boycotting it.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
They can't, but they're trying to
freedom
basically
of expression.
But they're trying to stop large groups of people like protesting and boycotting out front of it, which
like
you
people
can't
did
do
with
because we have the right to assemble, we have the right to protest. That's part of our First Amendment. And I was talking to Florida Man about this. So if you're going to violate the First Amendment by making a law like that, where are the Second Amendment?
No.
Let me finish.
I'm just joking.
Where are the Second Amendment guys that says you can't touch a fucking amendment? Bitching about this one.
Probably because they don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if the Second Amendment can't be touched because it is written the way it is, then why are these people not up in arms and protesting about the fact that the government is trying to stop our First Amendment, which is protected by the Second Amendment?
Well, I do think a lot of it has to do with, like, I'd never heard of this before today. Right. Again, I don't.
Yesterday was the first time I heard about it.
So I don't read a whole lot of political stuff. I'm believe it or not, people, I'm not all that political.
I try to keep
which is fine. But I don't. That's not part of what I ingest on a daily basis. So I had never heard of this whole thing, like with Starbucks. We'll take for example.
Yeah, I'm using that as an example. But there was a bunch of businesses that are pro-Israel.
But my guess is most of the American public does not even know,
right?
Because the government is
and so our
keeping
government
it
is trying
from
to
us
sneak this stuff in. And
then you violate that and you don't even know it, and you're now in trouble, and that doesn't make any sense. So that's where I'm going to say why those Second Amendmenters, they probably just have no clue,
right? Because
I would think they would stand up for that.
I think I saw 30 over there pucker when I mentioned the Second Amendment. He's like, "Oh, here we go."
Yeah,
because usually you might want to put a few more. We've been talking politics for the last 30 minutes.
We have been talking politics, but I'm going to say it's been pretty cool. Did you want to do that today?
Do we? What time is it?
It's a long show, but it's
how
up
about
to
we
you.
introduce that for next week or next episode?
Okay.
Yeah,
fine by me.
Okay, so Go ahead. It's your thing.
So I saw on TikTok a couple weeks ago, one girl posted, "What do guys do now that football season's over? Like, what do they have to live for?" And then someone posted a bracket of a bunch of things that guys like a stereotypical guy would like. Includes like
Chad.
like, and you get to choose between which one you like more, like boobs or ice cream, yoga pants or freshly baked bread, ice cold beer over a perfect golf shot. Now, a lot of these can be done at the same time, like tacos and having the house to yourself. So you have the house to yourself, you're going to get tacos.
Yeah, but we got to go with which one
we would prefer.
More.
Yeah, which one sounds better.
Yeah.
Or like whiskey/cigars over pizza. So
see, there's some that
that's going to be tough.
Sex over video games.
That's another tough one.
I don't play video games.
Okay, that's why it's the culmination. So yeah,
right. But I think
like this, like two of them are kind of related, like butts or a no wipe dump.
Now, when you say butts, are you talking about like
girl butts?
Like girl butts?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because I know how to wipe my ass. You know what I mean? Although no wipe dumps are pretty fucking sweet.
They're pretty nice.
Even though you still wipe. But
you don't know
you realize
you
realize after you wipe that you didn't need to wipe. It was a perfect.
I agree. And I had one of those like last week sometime.
Yeah. Because it's like, oh, okay.
And it was like, oh man. And then I wiped it. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. So that's
what
the
did
thing.
I eat?
Like which one's better? A nice shapely, fat ass, whatever, or having a no wipe dump. Which one is better? Which one do you prefer?
And so it's in a bracket. So
16
I'm
total.
going to take a picture of this, and I'm actually going to like clean it up, and I'll put it on, and maybe we can get some people on the Facebook to
See
put their choices.
Yeah.
And then we'll go through this next episode.
Like this one over here is bacon or sundresses.
That's hard.
Bacon. But anyways.
We'll go through the bracket. We can discuss our choices.
Okay, and then hopefully by the next podcast, I'll get the Google Voice thing rolling. So there
sounds like we got some changes coming on the podcast.
Yeah, I mean it might be kind of fun, and we did talk about trying to have some type of topic.
I think we did pretty good about doing that today, bringing different topics in. But
each of us having a topic.
I brought a topic, but we decided to wait. So here's my topic for next week.
Well, we kind of just got crazy, but that is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Got off topic / on topic. Yeah, that's probably the longest we've actually stayed on a single topic.
You can erase that
topic.
D.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
The diplomat's gone.
Yeah.
Your brother was supposed to come, but
he decided to sleep in. I guess
like normal.
That's
why I told you got to tell him it's
8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, tell him it's like 8:30.
He's like, I'm gonna come down with Dad. I'm like, okay, because knowing my dad, he'll leave at like 9, just after 9.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I almost overslept. I woke up at 9:15. I'm like, oh shit.
I woke up at 4:30 thinking I had Amazon Sunday.
Still? You still have
it? It was fucking weird.
He's got those CCA nightmares, man.
It was a nightmare.
Fucking ultimate PTSD. I think I woke up at 9:30, like, okay, gotta start moving around, get stuff ready, and then 10 minutes later, you text
I showed up. You definitely looked a little sleepy still. I'm like,
that's usually what happens on Sundays.
I woke up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock, and I'm like, I got some time, I'll sleep for another hour. Then I just kind of like looked at the clock and went, oh fuck. My wife's like, where are you going? I'm like, I got the podcast in 20 minutes. Like, oh, okay.
No, that's why I didn't see you on the highway.
Oh, you usually run into each other?
Yeah. I pass them at like 70.
Because you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to go that fast.
Yeah.
Plus, he probably still has nightmares about his motorcycle accident.
No, just his eye. Saying in the pussy.
So, okay.
In high school, we would call that Positis.
Positis.
Yeah.
Noise. So, the next podcast might be, a little bit better.
I feel like some of these are going to be easy. Some of these are going to be hard.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this one, ice cold beer or a perfect golf shot, that's going to be pretty easy.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yoga pants and what's that?
freshly baked bread. Like just out of the oven, it's rested, it's still warm, it's nice and fluffy.
But it's good thing
ice cream. That's going to be difficult.
That's going to be tough.
That is going to be tough. It's good thing you didn't put
boobs on. Or
it's a good thing you didn't put yoga pants with butts.
This was the exact list from the video.
From the video you saw.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just copied it down and made a bracket.
I like it. I think that will definitely be a fun little.
Good thing you didn't do the sundresses and yoga pants together.
That would have been hard.
So
well, I think that's part of it because those are too similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
now,
they
if they
could
make
be
it, if they
the
make
final
it,
bracket.
They make it to the finals, and that's
that is what it is. They're not going to make it to the final bracket.
Yeah.
Maybe they will.
Maybe yoga pants will, but I don't see sundresses making it.
See,
You
I'm
don't like
more of a-
sundresses?
Over bacon?
Well, yeah, that's the problem. Like over like yoga pants.
Yeah,
over
we're gonna have to
sundresses,
make
I'm
it more
picking
difficult.
sundresses all
This
day
is going to be a hell of a debate.
Yeah.
What's the thing? In yoga pants, that's just yoga pants. Are you also including the forbidden dress, which are kind of like yoga pants, but they have like the bell bottom, like the bell bottom pants, and they have like an actual like textured design on them. Look up.
No, those don't count.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Is that included in yoga pants?
I don't think so. Yoga pants are yoga pants.
Yeah.
Now, see, I think, another hard one would be like tight jeans versus yoga pants.
Okay, as long as those jeans. Women, listen to me.
The two women that probably
High waisted jeans are not cool.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking do not ever buy and wear high-waisted jeans.
I feel like that's more in Florida Man and I's generation that way.
It's not fucking cool.
They
who do you think I'm fucking looking at?
Now that's a trend that came around. That was big in the 70s.
It was, and it's coming back around, and it's terrible.
Yeah, my sister wears those.
Terrible. High-waisted jeans are a waste of my fucking time. Do not buy those. Do not wear those. I don't want to see those.
They have to wear them.
Wasting my time. Because when I look over... I know I'm being a little sexist here. When I look over at someone who I think might be good looking, and they have high-waisted jeans on, it's done. It's done. You just went from maybe a 7, maybe an 8.
What about
to a 0?
High-waisted yoga pants, though?
It depends.
Yeah.
Only because what's covering that. You're not going to be able to tell necessarily because yoga pants are tight fitting.
Yeah,
I agree. But those high-waisted jeans just ruin it. Mm-hmm. They ruin it. They're fucking terrible.
I'm keeping my mouth shut here.
Why? No, we want your input.
We're waiting for tomorrow. We're waiting for next time.
Well, no, but high-waisted jeans aren't on there, and that's good because they should not make that list.
Yeah, I feel like it's a stupid trend that should have never came around.
I feel like there's going to be two very difficult ones for sure.
Okay.
Whiskey and cigars versus pizza.
Yeah.
Again, you can have that at the same time. Just like tacos and house to yourself. You can have that.
Stop talking about it right now.
You can have sex and video games at the same time.
True. But can we... Let's wrap this up.
That. Yeah, so put your mic on.
Yeah.
Support from under the bed.
Yeah, exactly. Under the bed.
Yeah, so we don't keep going because this is going to take some time because there is going to be some debates about this. Yeah. How many? We only have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we have 5. Okay, so we have a tiebreaker basically. With the way things are going to work on this.
How about the younger generation versus grandpas?
Maybe your brother does need to come next time.
Yeah.
We might need that.
He'll spend the night.
That 5th vote.
On some of these, yeah.
Because
then again, I feel like some of these are going to be easy because ice cold pure over perfect golf shot. None of us golf. We have golfed, but we don't golf regularly, so we don't know what a perfect golf shot is.
Okay, well, I don't know though because or
at least that feeling of having this come all together and just it launches.
Perfect golf shot, or are we talking like hole in one?
Just a perfect swing. The mechanics are right, and
let's save this for the next episode.
He wants to go home. He has things to do.
No, he's right though.
We're just getting really long in the episode, and I want to spend a proper amount of time doing this, and I think it's better to, you know, like I said, I'll take a picture. I'll actually clean it up and put it on like a nice printed, bracket, and post it on the.
And my dad wanted to say something. He said we should shout out my brother who was supposed to be a guest but overslept.
Well, so he doesn't have a name. So fucking 31's brother, you're a piece of shit. You were supposed to be here today.
Yeah.
And shout out.
We have a nickname for him, but it might be his name. We some of us call him Jeezy. Jeezy.
No, I don't like it.
Yeah,
it doesn't fit him.
No, I don't like it. So maybe the next coming times we need to figure out a nickname for him.
Introduce him as guest number 1.
Ooh, guest number 1.
Yeah, the first official guest, though. Papa 31 was also.
Yeah, but he's got a name, Papa 31.
Yeah, that kind of that works perfectly.
Who, your brother 31?
Yeah, that doesn't flow right though.
Yeah. So we'll come up with a name
Dumbass.
We'll come up with a name. Dumbass.
I'm okay with that one.
That might be it.
Because that works. 31 got a super low score, and his brother Dumbass.
Dumbass was the one that helped him get that score.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, he took the test with me, and I got a 31.
What was his score?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
We can ask him.
If he knows.
If he shows.
So he's been a carrier for
If he shows.
a year and a half, 2 years longer than I have, so he probably doesn't remember
Yeah, but I do think we are going to need an odd number because...
on some of these.
Yeah.
what
Because my brother plays
So he'll have... So
Yeah.
we need that different aspect,
yeah.
so I like it.
He's more of a Chad character persona.
Okay,
So
we'll call him Chad.
yeah,
What's up, Chad?
Maybe more of a Chaz.
Chaz. Because his first name does begin with a Z. So
Chaz Michael.
God, that's such a good movie.
It is. Anyways, okay, so this was another episode of the Grossly Off Topic Podcast.
And we didn't talk about Oppenheimer.
For a reason.
Because they haven't watched it.
Yeah. I'm going to get Peacock today and watch it.
He said cock. Yes.
Anyways, I was your host, Papa Smurf.
I'm the Viking.
I'm the Florida man.
I'm 30 and 5/6.
And we will see you next time for some fun.
Yeah.
Bye.
Horse.